Thank you, ma'am.
I think Nitima, we can start because sir hasn't picked up the call. So
Okay.
in case he picks up, I'll ask the question.
Thank you so much, ma'am. On behalf of JP Institute of Information Technology, Noida, and as a coordinator of this faculty development program, I take this opportunity to welcome our esteemed guests, faculty members, scholars, and professionals. I am Nitima Agarwal, coordinator of this 6 days online FDP, along with Dr. Riddhima Banat Sharma, the co-coordinator of this FDP. First of all, I'll take this opportunity to thank AICTE for providing us this opportunity of conducting faculty development program on the topic Applied Entrepreneurship, Design Thinking, and Innovation for Business Excellence. Then I would also like to thank our Honorable Chancellor Sir Shri Manoj Gaurji, our Pro-Chancellor Sir Professor S.C. Saxena ji, our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir Professor B.R. Mehta Sir, and our Honorable Director Jaypee Business School, Professor Anubhav Vashisht, for encouraging us to conduct such kind of development programs in JIIT University. To start with, we all know innovation and entrepreneurship are the key drivers of economic growth, sustainability, and social progress. One of the fundamental principles of National Education Policy 2020 for guiding the education system is the nurturance of creativity and critical thinking.
Ma'am, you are on mute, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Anurag sir. With this, I request Professor Anubhav Vashisht to please welcome our participants and other members who are here. Thank you.
So a very good evening and good morning to few who have joined from different places. So, but I thank you for joining in, and it is a great pleasure to welcome you all to JP Business School, JIIT, in the inaugural ceremony of the ATAL FDP in association with AICTE on the topic Applied Entrepreneurship, Design Thinking, and Innovation for Business Excellence, and for making your presence for today. So thank you so much for joining in. First of course, my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Manu Bhaskar Gaur, the CEO JIIT Vadnagar. I think he'll be joining shortly as he's there in one of the events, so he'll be joining in shortly. And Professor Denish Shah, Georgia State University. So thank you so much for joining in, sir. I know their insights on the topic of the FDP will undoubtedly enrich our discussions today and enlighten us. We are honored to have with us our Vice Chancellor, sir, Shri Professor B.R. Mehta, sir. And he's always been a big support to us in any event that we organize. And from the core of my heart, I always wish to thank him wherever I get the opportunity. So thank you so much for the encouragement that you've always given to us and for joining us this hour also. To my colleagues who are a part of this FDP, who volunteered to be there with us for next 5 years, from different part of the country. So that's the beauty of this FDP, that we have participants from different parts of the country, and we have eminent speakers who will be discussing from different part of the world. So that's the beauty of this conference, that we are all together to think about this innovation. And one thing which is very proud for us is that our Chancellor sir has declared this as Decade of Innovation. So for JIIT, this is Decade of Innovation. And the topic that we have chosen today is also talking about innovation. At JP Business School, we are actually committed for academic excellence, innovative teaching methods, and holistic approach to business excellence. So again, this topic suits us to whatever we wish to do. And I think this will suit to most of us who are faculty members at different institutions, because all of us are thinking in this direction and are working towards innovation. So whatever we do, that should make some business sense, and that should be a part of the pedagogy that we're using, and should also encourage students for joining in. These 5 days will be power-packed. I would say they'll have a lot of interactions between the members, different faculty members, eminent speakers, and 3 things that we'll be talking about. Applied entrepreneurship. So that's something which is very special, because we'll be talking from generating the ideas to creating real-world impact. So that's something that we'll work on. Design thinking. So that is where we talk about the human-centric approach to problem solving, focusing on empathy, creativity, to design solutions that truly resonates with customers and the people around. And the third would be innovation for business excellence. So which drives us to rethink our strategies, processes, and business models in a way that can propel us towards sustainable success and market leadership. So these are the three things that we will be focusing on. Our FTP is not only to provide valuable knowledge, but also to equip us with practical tools and strategies that can be implemented and applied in our work. So we'll be, having a chance to interact with each other, share our experiences, and I would encourage all of you to come up with new ideas, ask questions, and think critically about how to implement these concepts in entrepreneurship and business journeys. So that's something that I will encourage all faculty members to do that. I will not take too much of the time because I know this is short and it's evening time and we have speakers with us. So thank you so much for being, and I hope this event comes out to be a very fruitful event where we'll have a lot of discussions, a lot of insights that we'll be sharing. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I may request Dr. Ridhima Banoy Sharma to please take it forward.
Yeah. Before I take it forward, I want to wish everybody from across the globe, in fact, who have joined us, some a very good evening and some a splendid morning. All the esteemed guests, colleagues, and participants from the academic fraternity. I am actually truly grateful for all your presence today, because without you, this FDP wouldn't have been successful. And I'm a marketing faculty at Jaypee Business School and also co-coordinator for this ATAL FDP, which is sponsored by AICTE. And now I would like to take this privilege to have with us VC sir, who is Dr. Bodhraj Mehta, who is here. I would like to give a brief introduction about him, and we would surely look for his blessings before we begin. Dr. Bodhraj Mehta is an accomplished academician, researcher, and administrator with over 37 years of experience in teaching, research, and leadership. Currently, he's serving as the Vice Chancellor of Jaypee Institute of Information Technology, Noida, and he has held previous key roles in the Indian Institute of Delhi, IIT Delhi, including Dean of Research and Development. And his global engagements include research stints at the University of British Columbia, Canadian University, and Germany, University of Duisburg, Essen, Germany, where he was a Marie Curie fellow and also a guest professor. We are privileged to work under his leadership. And I invite you, sir, to please give us your blessings so that we can give a kick start to this FDP.
Thank you very much. I'm audible? Audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you very much, Professor Ridhima and Professor Anuma Vishesht and Professor Ridhima for organizing this very, very important FDP on a very, very important topic, I will say. So I welcome all our guests who are taking morning tea and all those who are taking evening tea to this, although you are not physically at JIIT, but I think you are, what we feel is that you are strongly connected to JIIT through this FDP. And as Professor Anwar was mentioning, the topic of this FDP, applied entrepreneurship, design thinking, and innovation for business excellence. I think each one of them is so important, and that you can have one FDP on each one of them. So I'm sure this FDP is going to be heavily loaded with academic discussion on each one of these topics. And briefly, I would like to also mention, especially for our guests who come from outside, that Jaypee Institute of Information Technology, as part of the Decade of Innovation, which Director JVS was mentioning, we have set up a strong innovation ecosystem at JIIT, which we call as RIGHT, Research, Innovation, Development, and Entrepreneurship, which is our innovation hub. And last 1 month, we have onboarded about 21 student startups in this Innovation Hub. And in fact, today we had a discussion and a meeting with my previous institute, Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, to jointly incubate these companies. So RIDE, which is our innovation hub, and FIT is the innovation hub of Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. We will jointly, we'll sign a MOU, and we will jointly incubate these some of these startups which we have selected, so that these startups have access to facilities at JIIT and also at Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. So we are strongly committed, and the funding for this startups or these companies have come from our internal system, which is a very, 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 very generous funding has been made. And what I felt when we were discussing with the student team is that they were so happy to get this fund. And in fact, the highest fund, or one of the highest fund, has gone to a student team from Jaypee Business School. So that's also a very good announcement, or a very good something I would like to share. So it's very good. I think the topics are so important that I will attend some of the topics, which are very, very important. So I wish all the participants, our guests from abroad, our guests from India, and the organizers and the Jaypee Business School, a very, very successful academic discussion during this FDP. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your blessings. And we can greatly see Mr. Manu Bhaskar Gaura has also joined us. Welcome, sir. Welcome to this conference. We were waiting for you. I now take this privilege to invite our guest of honor, Professor Denish Shah. Professor Denish Shah is the Professor of Marketing at Georgia State University, Robinson's College of Business, USA. He serves as the founding director of the Social Media Intelligence Lab and executive director of the Marketing Roundtable. His research focuses on linking marketing strategies to firms' financial performances, the application of digital technologies in marketing, and social impact of marketing, everything so relevant in current times. He has published in some top journals, including Journal of Marketing Research, Harvard Business Review, Marketing Science, and also Journal of Marketing. Dr. Shah's contributions have been recognized with numerous awards, such as the MSI Paul Root Award, ISMS Practice Prize Award, and even Robert D. Buzzell MSI Award. And he has also received the Vradarajan Award, which honors a top marketing professional worldwide for their impact on marketing strategy and research. We are greatly privileged, and thank you for always supporting whenever I ping you. And thank you for joining as guest of honor, though I know your schedule was very busy. So the stage is all yours. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming here.
No, my pleasure, Ridhima, and thank you for having me in this session and this very important event that your institute has put together. Will I be able to share my slides? Let me just see.
If not, I'll give you the rights.
Yeah, no, I'm able to see it. Okay, 1 second. So. Can you see my?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 1 second. Not able to. 1 second. I'm not able to go there.
We can see your screen.
Yes, I know, but I'm not able to. 1 second.
Yes, visible now.
Yeah, can you see the full presentation mode?
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. Okay, all right. So I'm going to keep it very brief. These are just opening remarks, and Ridhima had told me just set the tone in terms of this session that's coming up. So first of all, good evening to everyone, to all the delegates, and thank you to Jaypee Business School for having me on this. What I'm going to do is just very briefly talk about some observations from the marketplace in terms of how this world is changing. Okay, and very simple observations. And as as marketers, right, and as academic.
I would like to conclude that
Okay, as academic researchers and as well as marketers, we have to be sensitive with what's going on, right? And marketing is one function that has to be the fastest to sense and respond. All right, so here are some observations, right? So first of all, stating the obvious, right? I'm preaching to the choir over here that consumers always, right, always seek products and services that are better, cheaper, and or faster, right? Ideally, all three, but at least one of the three is absolutely essential, right? When consumers are going about and making their choices. And
your slides are not changing.
oh, they're not changing over here.
No.
Okay. I don't know what's going on here. 1 second. I'm going to stop sharing it. Yeah, I think that's what's happening because the screen freezes over here.
When you touch the share screen option, just try sharing your entire screen.
Okay. Yeah, but it's not giving me that. It's not showing me anything. When I do entire screen, I'm not able to get my window out there.
Okay, wait. I'm adding you as a co-host. Now try.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still not seeing. I'm not seeing anything when I say entire screen.
Can you mail it to me? I'll put it across my screen.
Okay, all right. Let me do that. Sorry about this.
So I think mic is mute.
Yes, sir. This is you're on mute.
Okay, Ridhima, it should have. You should get it anytime.
Yes. Yes, I have it.
Okay, I think I'm seeing my screen over here. Ridhima, do you want me to do it here, or you will just present it?
I've shared the screen, sir. I've got the presentation. I'm sharing the screen.
Okay, fine. So, because
Ridhima, just let me know.
Put it on full screen.
Put it on full screen, ma'am.
Yeah. Visible?
No.
Yeah, it's visible.
Visible, but not full because I don't think it will move. Just move it to the next one. Can you move it?
Yeah, I'm on the second slide.
No. Then
yeah, I think that's the problem. I
Yes,
think the
okay.
animations,
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
but it's not going on full screen.
It's readable, sir.
It's fine. Just let's take it here, and because I don't want to spend too much time here. Okay, so few observations. Okay, first is consumers always seeking value, right, in anything they pursue. The second thing is there is a systematic shift, right, towards consumers wanting to consume anything and everything that's in the digital realm, right? Now, be it entertainment, be it even education, lots and lots of things, right? Being shopping patterns. we see a very systematic trend, right, of consumers moving or shifting towards the digital realm. And the third thing, right, is that when it comes to businesses, ultimate objective, right, for any business is growth and or profit. Okay, and very often both, but maybe, you know, if it's a very mature firm, it may want to focus more on profit than on growth. And if it's a, you know, a new firm or a startup firm, the focus is more on growth and profit. But eventually, right, it's basically both. And then the last one, right, is that whatever made, right, businesses successful in the last 5 years is going to be very different in terms of how it's going to succeed in the next 5 years. And this is very simply a reflective, you know, of the way and the pace at which things are changing. So that kind of brings to our next slide, which I really didn't want it, all the points to come up all at once. But maybe, Ridhima, why don't you go to the previous slide and just I can talk about it. But there's a very interesting experiment that Wharton did, okay, which kind of goes to show the impact of AI, right, which we cannot neglect it, you know, whether we like it or not. You know, AGI, or artificial general intelligence, is making huge inroads in anything and everything that we do. Education is no exception, right, over there. So Wharton does this class, which it's been doing for decades, on innovation. Okay, and what they do is, and this is taught at the you know, to their students, and what they do is, their business students, what they do is they they teach students how to do innovation, how to come up with innovative ideas, and then the project at the end of the class is to come up with an innovative solution to a problem. So they asked the students in one of these years, and this was as recently as last year, they asked the students to come up with a product innovation targeted to college students. Okay, and they said, you know, they set the parameters that your innovation should not cost, the product should not cost more than $100, and figure out, you know, needs of college kids, and then come up with an innovative product or a service. Okay, now what they did was, usually this is, they'll give the description and they will let the students come up with innovative ideas. There's a panel of judges that decides who is the winner. So they asked 200 Wharton students, okay, to come up with ideas. Now, for the very first time, what the professors did was, they gave that same instructions to ChatGPT, okay? And they asked ChatGPT to come up with 200 ideas, giving the same prompt, okay, that was given to students. And then, so basically 200 ideas came from students, 200 ideas came from ChatGPT, okay? They took those 400 ideas and gave them to a panel of judges, okay? Not telling the panel of judges who's done what, okay? These were just product, you know, innovation ideas. And they asked the judges, pick the top 10% or the top 40 winners, okay, from this. Okay, so the panel of judges, which are all humans, okay, judged it very objectively, very knowledgeable people, very objectively they judged it. And what they found was 35 out of the 40 ideas that were selected as top 10% were generated by ChatGPT. Okay, it just kind of goes to show that you know, that the influence, right, or the impact of artificial general intelligence, or, you know, large language models, or whatever word or term you want to give, aka ChatGPT, or equivalent, you know, software tools, are going to play increasingly very important role in the decision making, in the education, in thinking, in doing, right? It's going to play a very, very important role. And we have to be cognizant of that in anything and everything that we do, right? So in the 1900s, and I always, you know, like to say this, you know, I've just recently had a talk at IIT Bombay, and, you know, one of the person asked me, can you think of most promising use cases for AI. And my response was, well, thinking of use cases, right, for AI is very similar in today's world. Is very similar to thinking of use cases for electricity back in the 1900s. Okay, it's basically going to impact anything and everything, as we move forward. So the key takeaways, right? And Ridhima, you can maybe go straight to slide number 4. Let's go to slide number 4, right? Simple takeaways or thought starters, right, as I would like to call it, as you start your FDP program, right? One is we have to cultivate a perpetual state of experimentation in anything and everything we do. Okay, so yes, we are not marketers, but we still, right, when it comes to our courses, our research, our thinking, we have to be prepared to keep experimenting and keep learning, because things change so quickly that never ever than before, we have we can get outdated very quickly. So it is very important, right, that we keep ourselves up to date. And one way to do that is to keep experimenting, keep learning, newer and newer things. Second thing is that digital has become so important in anything and everything we do. If we are not able to embrace digital platforms, digital technologies, we face practically, be it an academic research or an academic institution, we face practically extinction if we are not able to leverage the power of digital, because consumers, students, right, are gravitating towards digital platforms. So, Georgia State University, we have a business school which is one of the largest in the country. We have about 10,000 students spanning our grad and undergrad program. One of the biggest debate we had for several years now was, should we have a pure online MBA program? Okay, and there was a huge resistance. Okay, we have about 300 full-time faculty. Huge resistance. Everybody is like, no, we are business school. This is all about experience. It's all about interaction. At best, we should do hybrid. If we do online, we'll dilute ourselves in the marketplace. And it kept going on and on and on. Every single faculty meeting until the last 2 or 3 years, where we saw that there were lots of universities like Indiana University and so on and so forth, practically put up huge billboards all around Atlanta city, recruiting our students, that get an Indiana online program, enroll in it. Why do you want to get stuck in traffic? And they're putting it along freeways where people are stuck in traffic for most part. And so we realized that if we don't make the shift, we are going to pretty much die, right, as an institution, because we are going to lose out on enrollment. So it's very important that we keep digital in mind in anything and everything we do, be it design thinking, entrepreneurship, innovation, right? And the third one, the last one, is we have to constantly think of how we can bring AI in the mix, okay? By no means I'm saying AI is going to replace humans or completely take over. No, absolutely not. But we have to be smart enough to really understand where is it that we feel it will make us more productive and help us do whatever we are doing more better, much better than what we are doing today, right? So and the water example I like, because it's a very simple example, a very simple experiment showing that it can even innovate, it can even think of ideas. I teach exec MBA class over here, and one of the assignments I give my students is think of an innovative mobile app by just giving prompts in large language models. And I don't care whether you use Gemini or ChatGPT or anything under the sun, but it should be a mix of your thinking and output that you get from ChatGPT. And I was just amazed in terms of the quality of output that students were able to generate, including pitches that they would make to a VC with their mobile app. Okay, a deck of slides, was being generated by, AGI. So it's basically just you and your imagination that kind of is the limit, right, in terms of what you can achieve with AGI as of today. So on this note, I will end my thing, and thank you again for having me here.
Thank you so much. In fact, with you saying that everything is moving digital, we are proudly, telling you that soon Jaypee is also opening a total digital university, and we are on the verge of launching a lot of online programs. So
Yeah.
thank you for giving us a confirmation that we are on the right path.
No, absolutely. That's
And
great.
the first ones are BBA and MBA.
Yeah, the first programs to go online would be MBA and BBA.
Yeah, no, that's great, because even in terms of scalability, right, is just unprecedented in terms of how much you can scale once you go digital. And then so no, it's a step, absolutely a step in the right direction.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining in and giving this right state, right stage to the FDP, right start to the FDP, so that we can have now the guys thinking which app GPT, how can they innovate and design think, and that later on sessions can be a good pace. Thank you so much, sir. I now take this privilege to invite our chief guest, Mr. Manu Bhaskar Gaur, on the dais. Mr. Manu Bhaskar is the CEO of the group Jaypee Group, which is Jaypee University of Information Technology, Vaknagat. He's a visionary in driving institutional excellence through innovation and strategic initiatives. He also brings extensive experience in funding startups as an angel investor, and has played a key role in fostering entrepreneurial ecosystem during his ventures at JSW Ventures. He has also started our innovation at the Jaypee University with RIDE and leading a lot of hackathons here. His expertise now in academic administration and venture funding continues to inspire the future business leaders as well as all the tech graduates that are coming up in our university. We are so privileged to have you with us, sir. And we would just want you to another, kickstart to our session so that we begin now with the formal sessions after your address. Are you able to unmute? Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for the kind invitation to be a part of this amazing event. And also, thanks to Professor Shah, who is actually, really kickstarted the event in the most apt way. I was kind of hoping कि 6:30 to 6:40 का slot है, so he might continue a bit longer, and 1-2 minute और आप intro में ले लोगे, so then at least I will only have a couple of minutes, because as far as the content, to add anything, I just want to be very candid. I've only joined the education sector about 3 months ago, so don't have any valuable insights, especially for such a august gathering. I can only talk about like a couple of things from the from a student perspective of what I remember from my days at Berkeley and INSEAD. So I went to Berkeley for my undergrad, civil engineering and energy. I did a double degree from there, and I did my MBA from INSEAD, France. As a student, I never actually imagined that faculty members would be kind of upgrading their own learnings so frequently. Like this concept didn't even occur to me. Maybe because I wasn't a computer engineer, I was civil, and the technology innovation in civil engineering is not at the same pace as a computer science or an EECS major. So like very, very few technologies come along in civil which actually or at least maybe I'm wrong about that as well, but I never even thought that there would be so many upgradations required after joining the Jaypee Edusphere, and in the last 3 months, and hearing from like luminaries in the education space like Mehta ji and Professor Saxena and so many others, right? I've kind of understood that this is a vital part of faculty and our institutes being at the cutting edge of the education space, and this is something that kind of, we've taken a cue from this, and also we are launching our own, executive education geared towards more technical courses shortly. So, May 2025 is the launch of our RETI initiative, which is basically it's kind of a long acronym for like re-engineering, reskilling, like experienced technocrats with emerging transformative technologies, right? So that's a really long one, but we call it RETI. So, it's basically a program geared towards professionals who want to, re-equip and relearn, or kind of like learn the emerging new technologies as they come, whether it's like like a large language model or an application of it in a FMCG company, or it could be like somebody who's looking at EV technologies and wants to kind of have a like a view of the entire space, charging, battery, chemistry, etc. So I mean, I think continuous learning is kind of the name of the game. That's the only thing you can do to keep ahead. And these kind of initiatives set forward by the leadership at JBS are amazing, and I'm very happy to be a part of this and to support it in any which way I can. And I think no more words necessary. Professor Shah has set us up very nicely for the event ahead. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir, for like inviting me, and pleasure to be here. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much, Manu sir. Nitin, over to you.
Thank you so much. With this, now we would like to carry forward with the first session, which will be taken by Professor Raunica Ahluwalia. So I would like to invite Professor Raunica Ahluwalia. Professor Raunica Ahluwalia is currently associated with Seneca.
Sir wants to say
If you allow me, I will like to log out now.
Right, so thank you so much, sir, for joining and for this inaugural session. So thank you.
Before sir leaves, can we have one group picture? There we all give a thumbs up, and our FDP.
I request everyone to please switch on their camera.
Switch on your camera so that
Yes,
we can have one picture. Yashika, you ready?
Yashika, people, they are switching on their cameras, so please wait.
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready. Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Once you're done, let me know. Thank you so much, our esteemed guests, to join us. We'll now continue with our formal sessions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Denish sir. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
So let me introduce you with Professor Raunica Ahluwalia. Professor Raunica Ahluwalia is currently associated with Seneca Polytechnic. She is a marketer, academician with extensive experience teaching at business school across India and Canada. Dr. Ahluwalia translates her experience as an account planner in advertising agencies, a corporate brand manager, and learning specialist for with not-for-profits for teaching. Dr. Ahluwalia mentors new immigrants under Toronto Region Immigrant Employment Council, and she is also a part of the advisory committee at Canadian Marketing Association. Dr. Ahluwalia has earned her PhD in entrepreneurial marketing from University of Delhi, MBA from MDI, India, and a PG diploma in communication management. And above all, Dr. Ahluwalia is my mentor, right? What all I am today is because of her and her constant guidance. And I believe she is one of the best fit to start this FDP. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Nitima, for that warm welcome.
Yeah,
It's always a thank you, Professor Vashisht. It's always a pleasure to interact with all of you at this esteemed institution. And when Nitima reached out with the topic and saying, I've already enrolled you in, I said, there's no chance for me to say a no with the kind of topic that you've come up with. It's so contemporary. It's so, something that's needed. And we definitely need to have a word and a talk and discussion on what's going on around the world. Because all that was said by Professor Shah was so important. And those three pillars that he started this FDP on are the pillars that I will be building on as well. And just to say, how did I go about doing this topic after Nitima put me into this? is when I was thinking of this FDP and the topic, and I said, what perspective should I come up with? Should I think like a researcher? Should I think like a professor of marketing? It was very aptly said. Should I think like a student who's going to be facing our classes when we work as a professors there? Or should I be thinking from the perspective of a doctoral student who's just about to finish PhD and venture into the academic world? And I said, all these perspectives are going to be the same, because today and I have a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old children, and when my 13-year-old sits back and we think about what career would suit him in another 3 years, we are blank, because the careers are changing so quickly. And I'm teaching at Canada, where we have students coming from all over the world. And when they ask us, what are the careers in marketing going to be like in next 5 years and 10 years? Believe me, we don't have an answer, because those careers are changing so quickly, so dynamically with the coming of AI. When we were starting off, we knew exactly there was advertising world and you could be copywriter or account planner or brand manager. But right now, those boundaries are transitioning. And do I prepare my student for the remote work, or do I prepare my students for the AI world, or do I prepare my student for a normal way of working the way we grew up with? There are so many perspectives. So I brought all these perspectives together in my presentation, and it's not going to be just me talking, and it will be about a lot of engagement and discussion. So if you can have the chat on so that everybody can participate through chat, that will be really nice. Yeah. I'll see if I can share my screen. Otherwise, I've mailed it to Nitima if this doesn't work.
Ma'am, chat is already on.
Yes, it
okay,
is on.
Perfect.
Already
Perfect. So let me share my screen and then come back. Let me know if this works, and if it doesn't, just let me know, and then Nitima, maybe you can share your screen that way. Yeah. Okay. Is it on full slideshow?
No, but it's visible. It's not on full slideshow.
Not. I think you'll have to put it on full screen first and then share it.
Okay, I'll try that again. Does that work?
Yes.
Can you see my full slide?
We can see your full slide. Just change it once so that
Perfect.
we know if the second one is coming.
Is it changing? Okay, perfect. Now, the disadvantage of this mode is I can't see you and I can't see the chat. Okay, so you'll have to help me with that. All right.
With the questions, ma'am.
Perfect. Good. So you be my moderator, and I don't want to lose out on anything that's being said on chat over there. All right. Okay. So this difficult topic, and it's a very, very wide topic which was given to me. It's called innovation and idea management system, which looks like a very technical topic. But given me who I am, I loved breaking it down to make it as simple as possible and to have a lot of discussion on what actually is innovation and what is idea management all about. So we'll talk a bit about the challenges of the system, what are the new trends that are coming up, and a little bit about learning from the best practices. For example, Professor Shah spoke about deliberating about an MBA which is online. Your institution is coming up with BBA and MBA programs that are going to be online. At Seneca, we teach in a hybrid mode, which is for the student to decide whether they want to be in the class, online, or just look at the recording, for example. So each of our institutions where we are working are experimenting with different setups. And I wanted to share some best practices from around the world in this sphere of innovation and idea management. So let's start with the most boring stuff first, which is your definition about the system. And this is a definition which is not one definition, but it's a definition that will be, you'll come across the definition through different institutions that are doing this by applying idea and innovation management system. I don't know where the M disappeared there. So going by the definition, it's a very structured process. And what do we do in this? We generate ideas, we capture ideas, we discuss ideas. And why do we do this? We do this to improve, organize, and evaluate. We also prioritize. And instead of improving, organizing, evaluating ideas, we do this to valuable insights or to alternative thinking methods. Because the word idea by itself has disappeared with the coming of AI. You know, it's not my idea which I'm toying with these days. It is an idea that could have been generated by AI, or it's an idea that I came across from somebody else which I want to improvise. And that's what entrepreneurship is all about. It may or may not be unique idea all the time. And therefore, I'm moving around this word called idea and saying, let's call it a valuable insight or an alternative way of thinking that would otherwise not have emerged through a normal process. And that's what I define as calling a innovation management system. So we are dealing with a lot of ambiguity, we are dealing with a lot of abstractness, and we are trying to bring it together in some kind of structure. And how are we going to do this? There are a lot of models that you will see floating around. This is a model that is followed by Wisme, which is one of the, it's a digital platform which helps organizations do innovation management for them. Because like we all know, ideas are floating around everywhere. How do you put them in perspective? How do you structure them? So of course, the simple process remains. You generate and collect ideas, you refine, you reevaluate it, you validate it, and you implement it. It seems so simple. And when you put all of this together, that's called the innovation management system. Of course, you have a session after me about technology, and they will explain how this is done using technology. You do have sessions talking about ideation, stress management, and you also have on prototype testing, which are going to talk about all of this that's mentioned on the slide today. If you want to complex it further, it looks like this. Yep. There's an employee who comes up with an idea. This idea gets passed around to a category manager. I'm talking about a basic marketing setup. This generally gets transferred through an email. So I get a good idea, I email my supervisor, saying, hey, can we try this? That idea can be discarded, put in a spam or a junk, or it can be taken to the next level, where we talk about it, we brainstorm about it, and we go about making a decision on whether should we continue with that idea or dump it today, or just put it on a back burner for some time. Now, let's say that decision moves to the next level, and that's when people are informed, a team is made up, and people start working on application of that idea and how do you make it into a commercial space. And only at that point can that idea be taken forward. However, now comes budget and timelines and prioritization and strategic front in which the company wants to move forward. Only if your idea is aligning towards all of this will your idea actually see the light of the day. Otherwise, it's archived and put in a back burner for some time. Yeah. What if you leave the organization? What if the person who was supporting you with that idea leaves the organization? And that's something we are not talking about right now. So as we understand, this is a complex process. There are a lot of exits to an idea, and therefore, what you come up with an idea may or may not see the light of the day. So if you forget all this complexity and keep it really very simple, the idea is, if I have an idea, my idea needs to matter to the organization. And just because I'm a marketing professor doesn't mean that I should keep HR side. So therefore, at the end underscore, who gave me that idea was a person. And what I did with that idea matters to this person. This was a study done in 2024 by American Psychological Association. And you know what that study said? It said 93% people reported believing it's very or somewhat important to have a job where they feel the work they do has a meaning. Think about it. When you are working in whatever organization you are, if what you say does not matter, you somehow feel left out. So mattering at work matters to employees. And therefore, if I have an idea and that doesn't see the light of the day, or nothing is done about that idea, I lose hope in my organization. I lose motivation to come up with a second idea or a third idea. Because at the end of the day, I feel it doesn't matter. What I come up with, it never goes into fruitfulness. So, looking at all of these complexities, let's simplify the process. You generate ideas, you collect them, you evaluate, you prioritize, you validate, you implement. But there is a big miss between generating ideas and implementing those ideas. And you know where those misses come from? The person who is deciding on your idea is not the same as the person generating the idea. Yeah. You're not the project team. You're not the final supervisor making a positive outcome on that idea. There's a big gap between the first and the last piece of that puzzle. Yeah. A person who comes up with a good idea may or may not be good at selling this idea. And this because I deal with a lot of small entrepreneurs. I've seen this in a very big manner. An entrepreneur is somebody who comes up with a great idea. They may not be good marketeers. And that's something that I learned when I was doing my PhD in entrepreneurial marketing, and specifically with small entrepreneurs. Not necessarily everybody has a marketing knack of selling their ideas. So your idea remains where it is because you do not have the selling persuasion skills to make them reach the end point. Good ideas may or may not get the tools and resources to make them commercial. Yeah. The organization may not support you with the budget, timeline, manpower, resources that are required to make that idea come into fruitfulness. So overall, when we talk about this very, very simple process, the outcomes are very complex. And this is where I take you to the next slide, where I will be asking you for some ideas on how do you make this possible. There's an idea and there is a problem that you're trying to solve. Both of them need to be in sync with each other. Just like what you see on the screen. This is the SpaceX Starship built by Elon Musk. It's trying to bridge the economies of scale. For the first time, we have a rocket that goes in space.
Sorry to interrupt you in between, ma'am. Can
Yes,
you just hide the button after the stop sharing? Actually, people want to read that out.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect. Yeah. So you have a problem. There's a lot of wastage when you have a rocket going in space and disappearing. So to try to solve that problem, you come up with an idea, let's bring it back. Amazing. So there's a problem, you're trying to solve it with an idea. However, not always this is possible. There are a lot of things that happen in the market which are like this. You have a problem, you have an idea, they don't meet up. And any idea which doesn't lead to solving a problem is this mess. You think that's a cartoon? Well, there's a popular place, and we have a house in a place called Salogra. That's Solan, Himachal Pradesh, and you would have heard of tunnel number 33 in Solan. Well, that tunnel was built by Britishers, and it's a very popular. If you've been to Himachal, you see that train which goes inside those tunnels. So those tunnels were built long back by Britishers, and this tunnel number 33 is one of the most haunted tunnels in the world. And the reason they are haunted is because the British engineer who built the tunnel got this problem. There was a mountain, and he had to bore a tunnel. He started from one side, and he asked the other construction workers to start boring from the other side. He thought he's saving on time, and the tunnel did not meet up. This is exactly what the tunnel problem was. He spent a lot of money, lot of time, budget, and finally the tunnel never met. The engineer committed suicide, and that's why that's one of the most haunted tunnels in the world. Tunnel number 33, Solan Station. And that's real life. So a lot of times we are working on ideas, but they are not solving problems. And that's exactly, and if you don't believe me, look at some of the ideas by very, very big companies, whose marketing managers or ideation specialists might be coming from the top institutions of the world. We're talking about Google Glasses. It was trying to solve a problem. It came up with an idea. It's one of the biggest fails by Google. Yeah. The pricing wasn't right. It was very, very premium. There were privacy concerns with the product. And this product was, you wouldn't believe, this product was launched twice. And both the times it was recalled because of these issues. Great problem to solve. The idea does not match. There was another very interesting product here. And this was a juicer. So it said, you know what, we will give you pouches of material, raw material, put them in this. This was a $700 product. Put them in this, it'll come up with freshly squeezed juice. All over the world, people would want to drink freshly squeezed juice. That was the problem. The idea, this fancy looking machine. Well, this machine took ideas from Apple. So you'll see it all fancy, nice design, white in color, all of that. But you know what? One day, somebody just squeezed the raw material package that came in, and out came the juice without even using the machine. And that's when this product died its own death. It's one of the biggest fails in design and product history. Yeah. So a lot of times we are trying to solve problems with unique ideas, but the tunnel is not meeting up. So I have a question
Just
for
a
you.
second, ma'am. Sorry to disturb you. Mr. Satish is raising his hand. I think he has a question to us.
Yes, Satish, please let me know.
Mr. Satish, can you hear us?
He's on unmute. Either you'll have to use a mute. So either you'll have to unmute him or something.
Yeah, or you'll have to just put your question on chat.
Chat.
You can please put your question on chat. Ma'am, I think you continue in between.
Okay. So Satish, if you have a question, just put it on chat if your mic is not working, and I'll take it up. Okay. So yes, please.
Could you please repeat this previous case study? I missed it. Sorry.
This one?
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Sure, anytime. So we were talking about how we have a lot of problems that we are trying to share. And, in entrepreneurship, we always start off with need. And we say, what's the problem that we are trying to solve from the society, from your personal life? And that's how new products come up, right? And a lot of times when we have an idea, but that doesn't meet up with the problem that you're trying to solve. And on the left, I gave you an example of a very similar idea by Elon Musk, SpaceX. So you had a problem, economies of scale, lost resources, and you came up with an idea which met this problem. Works well. I don't know how the financial feasibility would work in the long run and so on. So we are going to wait and watch on how this idea comes into place. And on the right-hand side, I showed you some examples of products which were also trying to solve problems, but where the idea and the problem did not meet up in the right manner. Yeah. So those were some examples that I was taking up for these companies. So this was called Juiceco, Juico, and this is the Google Glasses that I was showing. Okay, so maybe what I'll do at the end of the session is I'll put some links there, and you can read more about any of these case studies that we are talking about today. Yeah. Okay. So enough of me talking, and I want you to think and tell me about how do you work best with ideas. I'll show you 4 pictures, one by one. Okay, and I don't want sudden answers. Take your time and put your answers on chat, and maybe the hosts and coordinators, if you can just let me know, because I can't see the chat, which number is coming the maximum. Okay, so I'll go one by one. I'll show you one by one the pictures. Listen to what I have to say for those pictures, and then decide, is it the way you work with ideas? Okay, the first kind of people, and I've denoted them with a bird or an animal to just make it more easier for you to encapsulate what this kind of person is. The first kind of person is like an owl. They are clarifiers. And how do they work with ideas? Is they spend time validating the challenge before they try to solve it. They make fact-based associations and decisions. They move forward really cautiously and systematically to make sure the team is asking the right questions, heading in the right direction before they take off. Okay, so this is the first kind of person. That's how they work with ideas, and we call them clarifiers. If you think you are this kind of person, wait till all four come up and then you write one on chat. If you think this is not you, you're not somebody who does a lot of homework before moving on with implementation of that idea, you may be somebody like number two, who's like a dolphin. They are called ideators. And who are these kind of people? They use their imagination to make connections and play with ideas. They get the big picture. They stay at an abstract level. They don't go into a lot of details. New ideas really excite them, and they are very happy jumping from ideas to ideas. They thrive on discovery and innovation rather than on actually getting down into bits and pieces of that idea. If you think you are like this, it'll be a good idea to put a number two on chat. But wait, let's see three and four as well. The number three kind of person is like that tailor bird that you see. Yeah, the weaver bird or the tailor bird. They're like developers. Developers are perfectionists. They use meticulous minds to refine and optimize plans and solutions. There's always room for improvement. They will not work till the time the entire plan is ready, till everything has been checked, marked, till they enjoy figuring out how to make things better and better before moving on to that idea. You could be somebody like this. And the last person is like a cheetah. They're implementers. They like to get things happen and happen fast. Yeah, they are action oriented. They take pride in getting things done. They have little patience to talk about to anything that is not action. They don't want to talk about that. They would rather spend their time creating a to-do list than checking the list. So think about it and take your time. What kind of person are you when you're working with ideas? And you could be a scholar who's working with a lot of ideas for your research. You could be a professor who's dealing with lots of ideas of how to make your classes more engaging. You could be a researcher who has lots of ideas to work on papers and publications, but you are not ready to work till you have done your homework. Or maybe you're somebody who loves the idea and just gets on to do their work, or a developer or implementer. Write down your answer whenever you're ready.
I can see so many answers, ma'am, coming.
Awesome. So just a big picture. What do you see on screen?
I can see 3.5, 3, 3, 2, 1, 4, 1, 1.5, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, and 4.
Amazing. I love the
Combination.
0.5s. I love the 0.5s, which means you are between 1 and 2 or whatever. Yeah, that's amazing. And that this could be, and keep having those answers come in, because that shows that your mind is actually, you are thinking onto this. There could also be times when you're different animal or bird at different circumstances. For example, when I am at class and taking my sessions, and my students are sleeping, even 8 a.m. classes, they are sleeping, and I want to just wake them up and I want an idea. Maybe that's when I do number 4. I just need an idea to get the work done. But let's say I'm coming up with a new course plan, and I want to spend more time in perfecting it before I launch it out. I may be number 3. So within the same person, I can have all these 4 as well. But generally, what kind of person you are? To give you a perspective, generally, I am number 2. Yeah. So Do we have a popular number there, Nitima?
That I can see is 2, ma'am. The popular one.
Popular 2. Okay, great. So we have a lot of number 2s there. So you like abstract idea. You're not sure how well this will work out in the market. You're not sure whether this will work out or not, but let's experiment. Let's play with it. Yeah, that's great. And to give you a perspective, because we have been using the word innovator a lot, and if you see there's nothing called innovation in these 4 slides, then let's move on to talk about where does that leave innovators. So if we say clarifiers are the person who do their homework, and ideators like to think big, and developers like to get things right, and implementers like to get the stuff done, who are innovators then? What do you think? I would love to know your answers on chat. And if you think they are blend of something, maybe that's the right answer as well.
So 2 and 3, 1, 1 and 2, innovators 2, 2, 3, 4, 1.
2, 3, 4, okay. All right, great answers. So you think innovators are clarifiers, or you think innovators are a mix, all of them? Okay, you think innovators are a mix of 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. Good. I'm happy that you're thinking on that lines, because all of these are distinct people, and an innovator can be any one of them. But let's talk about research, because we have a panel of all esteemed researchers sitting here, and maybe you believe in black and white and not just just the language that we are saying. So the study that was done, and these profiles have been built over a period of time, and there was a research that was done amongst 13,500 general population, and out of them they took out the profile of innovators. And you know what those innovators look like? What you see are 2 peaks. The peaks are ideators and implementers. So as a key takeaway, out of these 4 profiles, the people who we call innovators were those who were good at ideating, but it doesn't stop there. They were good at also implementing. So ideators who think big and who get the job done was what innovators were all about. Interesting study. I'll leave this PowerPoint. Nitima has it, and maybe she can share it. And these are really nice studies which will maybe force you to think in a different direction next time you're playing around with ideas. Yeah. So to talk about, you were right, we require each one of them to create that jungle. And just to give you an example, when Apple founded, this was the founding team. And we had Steve Jobs, who was known for his obsession with understanding the customer experience, what is the problem that we are trying to solve kind of a person. And therefore, we call him the clarifier. The person next to him is John Ive, who you know is one of the master designers in Apple team, and he thrived on abstract and getting the idea in place and brainstorming product ideas and so on. Yeah. And then we had a whole lot of developers and engineers who worked as the core team of Apple, and those we will call as the developers. And we have our present CEO, Tim Cook, who was in the initial lineup as the implementer. And he's the one who ensured products were manufactured and delivered with unparalleled efficiency. Yeah. So you're right. We require all 4 kinds of people to create that best mix for our team. So when you are working in a team, let's say you are a researcher or a professor, or you are anybody in a marketing organization, look at the types of people that you are taking forward when you start building an idea. And maybe that's what's needed to take that idea from the idea stage to the implementation stage. Yep. Okay. So let's do another poll. And I remember Professor Shah talking about AI, and this is something that all of us are facing this time. You know, what is the most pressing problem you are facing with ideas? Is it A, which is too many ideas? And do you know there's a word for it in 2023, Forbes came up with this study and they called it something. It was called the shiny object syndrome. And we thought only Ramayana had this shiny object syndrome. Yeah. And I'll speak a little bit about shiny object syndrome. Is it? What is your problem? Are you having too many ideas, or is the problem too few ideas? Especially with coming of AI, a lot of us are having too many ideas, but I want to listen from you. Again, that's a easy on chat to figure out. A or B? What's your problem?
Unanimously A.
Are you getting flooded with answers?
Yes, so they're saying
Amazing.
A. Most of them.
For me,
Most
it
of
is
them
A.
A? Amazing. So if I have a lot of A's coming there, that's what Forbes is talking about, calling it the shiny object syndrome. And that syndrome is all about saying, we are all in this mess of too many ideas. And that's why they talked about it. Give me a second.
Anuma ma'am, I think you agree that we all are usually at shiny object syndrome.
Most of us. Yes. All shiny things look good. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Raunica.
Ma'am, you're not audible. Raunica ma'am, you're not audible. Raunica ma'am, you're not audible.
Unmute now.
Hello, hello. Mic testing.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I'll present again.
There's a
Entire screen. Okay, let's go forward.
very different answer, Raunica ma'am. Shiny with different glorious colors. Shiny with different glorious colors.
Shiny with different glorious colors, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, do you see my screen? Do you hear me?
We can hear you, but screen, no. Yeah.
Do you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let's go back to our sharing and tell me if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So shiny object is basically anything that deals with new ideas, new joint ventures that you're too tempted to start off with. It could be coming from AI, automation, robotics. It can be new social media platforms. Somebody gives you a success story about an entrepreneur on TikTok and you think, hey, that's where the new business should be, and you jump abroad. Right? That's a shiny object syndrome. And a lot of us, and if you see my screen, it says that's the biggest problem for today's entrepreneurs, as stated by Forbes in 2023. We have too many ideas. Yeah. And the only way out of this is to discern the distractions from the opportunities. So around us, we have a lot of ideas. How do we know which one is a distraction and which one is an opportunity? Yeah. So let's see 2 ads, and being a marketing professor, I can't stay without showing you ads, right? So let's see 2 ads by the same company over a span period of very few months, both made using AI. Both these ads are Coca-Cola's very famous ads, which came out in March 2023 when AI just boomed. And this ad was made completely using AI. And the second ad that's just come out in November, it's called The Holiday Magic. That's also made completely using AI. You will tell me if you see the first one as an opportunity like I do, and the second one as a distraction like I do. And if you go online and you check it right now, you will see a whole lot of negative comments coming from people about the second ad, which I'll show. And let's see it together and decipher for ourselves, when does an idea become a distraction and when does an idea become an opportunity? Okay, so we'll see the opportunity first. This ad came when AI was just beginning to invade our lives, and Coca-Cola took advantage of it and made a complete, so each of the character is AI, the music is AI, the script is AI, the setting is AI, it's completely done using AI, okay? Nitima, if you can just let me know if you can hear it properly, okay? Otherwise, I'll share the YouTube link.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear it?
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So maybe, will you be able to play it?
Let me check, ma'am.
So I'll give you the link.
Ma'am, you can please put the link in the message window.
I'm doing that. There. I'll put for ad 2 also. So once you're done with this, we'll play the second ad.
Oh, may I share my screen?
Sure.
Audible and visible?
Not yet.
Ma'am?
It's not audible.
It's not audible to anyone?
No.
No. No, ma'am.
Nitima, once
ma'am?
you share your screen, just enable audio.
Okay.
There's a little tick box on that screen once you're sharing. Just enable audio and then everybody will be able to hear it.
It's already tick, ma'am. Share tab audio. It's already tick.
You can play it on YouTube and then share your entire screen.
Yes,
Now is that audible?
Yes.
Now it's audible, ma'am.
Thank you. So I'm starting it.
Beautiful ad made by AI. This took the ad world by a storm because this was the first time that we were using AI completely for making an ad. And a lot of people were talking about, how models will lose their jobs, script writers will move their job. Anybody who's into any of those creative medias will lose their job because AI is coming and now you don't need models and you don't need script writers and anything. Okay. So that was when AI started off. And then came November 2023. And in between, a lot of brands moved on to AI. So let's look at the second ad, which Coca-Cola attempted using complete AI again. And that's called the holiday ad. Nitima, whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Is that audible and visible?
Audible, yes. Not yet visible. Yes.
Can you see it shining bright? Always Coca-Cola.
Okay. I want to listen from you. If you want to switch on your, yeah, sure, we have hands up coming. Good, amazing. Why do you think, which one did you like and why? Okay, we have lots of hands. We'll go one by one. Satish, maybe I saw your hand first.
Madam, particularly I love the first one because it shows that all love Coca-Cola.
Okay.
And all are human beings.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dilip. Satish, you want to say something?
I think he's facing some issue.
Yeah, Richa.
Dr. Richa.
Richa,
Yeah.
you want to?
So very good evening to the organizer, Dr. Nitima and Dr. Raunica. So both the ads were wonderful. So though I'm not a marketing expert, so basically my core area is economics. So even I'm not right, whatever I will be saying right now. So just excuse me if in case I speak something wrong. So both the ads were really fantastic. What I got was the second ad, actually the second ad which was done through the AI, I feel the shots were very fast. And the ad seems to be in a rush so that the viewer was not able to register exactly what was they trying to show. So though AI is helping us a lot in going ahead with the ads, but at least so much of time should be there so that the audience should be able to register and capture what the ad is trying to depict. So
amazing,
only
Richa.
will be able to go ahead with implementing any of the strategic actions, maybe with respect to the marketing part or maybe the cost benefit analysis part. So that was the thing which I noticed while seeing both the ads. Things were in a rush and it was very difficult for me to capture and retain as to what the agency was trying to show.
Amazing. And of course, in order to see and absorb these ads, you don't need to be a marketing researcher or a marketing expert. As a consumer who's looking at these ads, this is how you felt, and you are perfectly right on that. Absolutely. We have some more raised hands.
Professor Monica Suri, ma'am, over here. Monica, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Nitima, for giving me this opportunity. So I got very well connected to Raunica ji when she was talking about, the ads, because being faculty of marketing and management, I always use these in my training programs. So when it comes to Raunica, the second ad of polar bears, if you remember and recall, there was very initially, I think few years down, they came up with a polar bear ad wherein they plugged the moon from the sky and then opened it as used that moon as the opener of that particular, I think it was Coca-Cola bottle only, and then they placed the moon back. So I used to teach it in organizational behavior for teamwork and to be more organized and, not only using the resources, but placing them back to the respective. So I think whatever you're talking makes a lot of sense because we can visualize this from different angles. But personally, if you ask me, obviously being faculty of marketing will have many technical observations on that, but I'll not bring that into this particular session. So I'll give you my honest thought is like the short is always sweet. So when I saw the second one, that became a matter of attention rather than more distraction, because the first ad was not giving us time, or it was not timed in such a way wherein maybe to the youth it may bring lot of attention, but not to the people like me who are above 50s and now looking for something which may not be segmented, as per their perception and psychological, you can say, satisfaction. So that's all from Raunica. Yeah, thank you.
Sure, thank you.
So we have few more hands, ma'am. I'm sorry, but so we have Dr. P.S. Krishna Rajan, sir. So you may please come up with your view.
Madam, good evening, madam. This is general question. General instance with respect to marketing only.
Yes.
Good evening to all the team members and coordinators and college. This is I got this very important FDP because I did my marketing in MBA and I got pharma experience and banking experience. The general question is why marketing is very interesting subject. Numbers speak. Why many of the marketers are not able, marketing people are not elevating high positions? That is my first question, madam. It's a general question. Second question, coming to banking, where I have an experience. Digital marketing plays important role in banking sector because you can do UPIs, phone pay, GPay. But what about your view, your vision on other marketing products, like pharmaceutical products, or any manufacturing products? Can we do online marketing without employees, so you save cost? What is your view, Ahluwalia madam? Can you just get light through on this?
Perfect. Nitima, maybe we can take a note on that question and come back to it at the end, right? Yeah, that's a very nice question, and we'll definitely come back to it at around 9:20, and we'll have 10 minutes for answers during that time. Amazing. Sure.
Can we take other questions also?
Absolutely.
Okay. May I request Nidhi ma'am to please unmute? Dr. Nidhi? Dr. Vivek Sharma, you have raised your hand. Dr. Sanya M.
Nitima, what you can do is you can start and they can put it on the chat box and you can note.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Absolutely. I'm happy to see all the questions that are coming up, which and we have lots to say. Yes, Nidhi.
Yes.
Good evening, madam.
So good evening, ma'am. I just have a small observation as I'm a marketing faculty. So when we talk about promotion of any product, the first and the foremost thing we talk about the 4 Ps. How with what perspective the ad is being designed. So the second advertisement, I don't know why they took animals in the advertisement. That's the irony, like why the product is no more catering that audience. So that's why it my vote goes to ad 1.
Nice. And you know what? I was reading, and just not to alienate people who were writing all their really nice questions on chat as well, I saw that a lot of you were saying that ad 1 was relatable and ad 2 was not too relatable. And you know what? The word that we are all missing there is the story. Ad 1 was telling a story. We saw it as a story. Ad 2 were bits and chunks of pieces all coming together. It was as if your students were sitting on Canva and putting some videos together.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
While ad 1 was actually taking you through a story where we saw some creativity in terms of the popular paintings coming to life and taking you inside the paintings, the other side of it. There was some human element in the first ad. There was no human element in the second ad.
Yes.
Because even using an AI requires a human element, and story is a base of what we entrepreneurs do. We tell stories and we tell it in an interesting manner. And if we lose that function within our brands, within the work that we do as products, or in the organizations that we back up, we lose it. Because all the people sitting there forget about being doctors and researchers and marketing. At the end of the day, we are all consumers of those products. So let's move together, and I'm very happy that you are with me while we are talking about these issues, because that's exactly what we are going to be facing in our classes as well. When a student comes to us with an idea, how do we distinguish it and say, is this an opportunity or a distraction? And that's exactly what we need to do as faculty when we are dealing with lots of ideas from our students as well. Putting them into big steps. I'm sorry, I can hear myself. Okay. So let's move to the 3 big things that we have learned till now in all these slides that we spoke about. So we saw, is my slide visible, Nitima?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So what we spoke about till now are 3 big things. The first thing that we spoke about, that ideas are critical for survival and growth. That was spoken by Dr. Shah, that was spoken by all of you over here, saying without ideas, our organizations are not going to survive. If we don't change and bring new ideas, we are not going to grow. And therefore, those are critical. We can't survive without them. The second thing we spoke about is that different types of ideators are needed to work together on ideas. We cannot work in silos. We cannot work without collaboration. And the third thing that we knew about is there needs to be a clear strategy to make sure those ideas and the drive that's needed for those ideas reaches to the implementation stage. Yeah. So if those are the 3 big pillars on which we need to work forward, then let's see what's happening around the world on this area. Yeah. A lot of institutions, and we spoke about how we are becoming online at JIIT, or the fact that we are thinking about MBA online. So we know that across institutions, all of us are trying to integrate AI into our courses, into the way we are teaching, the way we are becoming more engaged to the student, and so on. So we are integrating AI. There's also a bigger focus on teacher well-being. Because at the end of the day, we are the ones who are delivering these programs, and therefore institutions are waking up to the teacher well-being in general. Number 3, we are trying to make it as personalized and adaptive in learning. So for example, if we are doing Mentimeter in the class, we are doing Kahoot in the class, we are just trying to reach out to the student in a more adaptive manner. We are also talking about social and emotional learning, and we are having a very big concepts of DEI, diversity, equity, into our classrooms, and saying how to make learning accessible to everybody. And so that's a very big component as well. And of course, we as faculty are trying to make learning as innovative as possible. So this is what we're doing on an institutional level. There are a lot of things happening within our classrooms as well. We are trying to take better feedback from the student. We are doing a lot of collaborative projects. This FDP by itself is an example of how we are managing different ideas. We are doing a lot of innovation challenges. We are hearing hackathons and competitions from all over the colleges. And of course, we are integrating all of these, which you see on the screen, and many more. So more as faculty, we have become techno experts, and we are expected to learn all these technologies, and you'll hear more about technology in the next session that's coming up by Mr. Nitin on how technology is helping us innovate and ideate. So we are doing all of this. But let's see some of the good examples of how across the world some institutions are doing this in a really big manner. And I'll talk about 3 big institutions and what they're doing. The first one I want to talk about is MIT. And they have come up with it's a digital space called MIT Solve. And if you visit the website and just check Google and go to MIT Solve, you will see a lot of stuff that you can use in your classrooms. Yeah, for example, I'll talk about this Solve as a big thing, and then we'll talk about some stuff that we can do within our classrooms on ideation management and innovation. Again, I'm not sure if my screen will allow this, so I'll put it on YouTube and share the link with you. Here, Nitima, one more coming up. There you go.
I'm sorry, there was a technical glitch.
No problem.
I am playing it.
Of course.
Sharing my screen.
Find the most calling emergency services.
So, okay, is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And it's audible too.
The story of our startup is pre-solve and post-solve.
Welcome to Solve at MIT. Our mission is to drive innovation to solve world challenges. We find the most promising innovators that are using technology to solve the problems of their community and of the world.
Terjimly is the world's most accessible translator and interpreter service.
At OM Gyno, we focus on sexual and reproductive health in the Middle East, where it is quite conservative.
Earth Enable is a social enterprise with the mission of making living conditions healthier and more dignified for rural families across the world.
Country like India, over 70% of schools do not have computers. That's where we come in.
The global nature of the problems we're dealing with are so big that no single institution or industry or country can deal with them all on their own.
This is not just about finding the innovators, but about pairing them with the organizations that will help them scale.
The network of MIT Solve is so powerful.
Access that they have to creative thinkers all over the world.
They're coming up with innovations that are informed by their communities, but are also taking advantage of the most amazing opportunities of technology. It's an incredibly exciting time.
This is where you drive innovation. This is where you build technology solutions for the future.
Solve made me feel like part of a global platform that I would have never reached from where I come from.
It has helped us think bigger and bolder.
Solve is the world we all want.
Solve is the best of humanity.
Solve is a powerhouse.
Wow.
You
I am kindly unmute.
Mute. Thank you so much for letting me know that. Okay, so I've put the link on chat, and if you open the link, and I'm sharing my screen. You can see my screen. If you see, perfect, you can see it now. There you go. So if you see the map, and this is the link that I've shared with you, you will see the kind of projects that are happening all over the world. And these are all collaborative projects. So they identify a problem, they put it up as a challenge on their website, and anybody, it could be a student, it could be a researcher, it could be a professor, it could be an institution, which can collaborate for that project. So for example, let's go to where we are. That's 11. Maybe that's the closest. Number 2. Let's see what's happening there. There are 2 projects happening in our neighborhood right now. If you see, there's a tech-driven peer-led support for parents to turn their homes into early learning environment, which is happening in Delhi by Dost Education. And there's another project that's happening in Gurgaon. That's Blue Sky Analytics. It's an AI-powered platform providing key air quality data and source emission parameters. So these are two projects that are on in your neighborhood right now. And you can collaborate and you can check out what solvers. So this is MIT's way of collaborating on problems that are happening all over the world. And if you see on the left, these problems are across topics. So right now, if you go under challenges and you open challenge, you will see there's a challenge that's already open, and you can ask your students or institutions or you yourself to be part of that challenge. And this challenge is about how are nonprofits providing innovative solutions for reskilling, upskilling, career navigation need for adults. So you can explore a challenge, you can submit a solution. However, it just doesn't do that. It gives you training for 9 months on how to solve a challenge in collaboration, how to ensure that your idea that you're submitting here reaches the implementation stage. And there are also awards to be won. I think the highest award is some $10,000, which you get in order to take this challenge forward. Yeah. So amazing way of MIT to be using a problem, throwing it open, because like they said, one problem cannot be solved by one country, one institution, one set of people. You require ideas from all over the world. And therefore, this is their way of collaboratively engaging with people. I thought this was something really wonderful, and we could all share from it. There's a second one that I wanted to share is from Stanford, and this is called their D School, and this is the link. And of course, we'll not see it, but I would like to put it on chat, and you can all take advantage of your own YouTube. This is on Stanford's D School. And I wanted to share two really interesting links with you and take you through those. You know, we are all looking for interesting ways in which to build our classrooms. And what if you could build an escape room on your own? And Stanford, and I've put that under link, allows us to do that. So I am sharing my screen to let you know. There you go. So if you visit the site, these are open resources put by Stanford, how to design an education escape room. They have given you all resources which you can download, including PDF files, including rubrics, which you can use in order to evaluate that escape room. And they've given you ideas on what this escape room can be. We're speaking about 4 Ps. We can make an escape room on 4 Ps. Basically, because students these days don't want to do tests the way we have done them, assessments the way they have done. They want experimentation, adventure. And these are ways in which these organizations have put together. So there's a video, there is a toolkit, there is resources for evaluation and rubrics that are provided. And all you need to do is start building your own escape room within your classroom. Yeah. So great ideas floating all around you. It's just a perspective of putting them together, collaborating with each other and learning from each other. Yeah. There's several amazing examples across the screen that's happening right now. So maybe it's too much of listening and you really need a break right now. So I will finish with my last slide. And of course, you can build a bot, you can do escape rooms. There's something else happening at University of Toronto where they did an innovation hub for improving the campus. They said, you know, classrooms are good, but let's improve the campus. And they did research, they did projects with the students to improve campus life. So that's again one idea, moving from idea to implementation using collaboration with students. And that's something they did amazingly well. So in a summary, because we have spoken so much, you know, things to remember are that the landscape is evolving. They are no longer linear pipelines. You remember how we started with that diagram? That diagram is not linear anymore. And there's a continuous ecosystem that's changing and needs to change. Also, nothing can be done alone. So one institution, one department cannot do everything. We need to collaborate in an open atmosphere. All the ideas are great, but we need a human-centered ideation. As we saw from the Coca-Cola ad, you take away the storytelling, the human aspect from it, and it loses its meaning. Yeah. So everything that we do needs to have that human element. Of course, we cannot run away from technology. So whether it be building a bot for our students or building an escape room for our students to make our classes more engaging and interesting, we will have to integrate technology into our ideas. And at the end, any innovation and any idea will be worthless if it is not purpose-driven. So start with a problem and end with an idea, and they need to be integrated using technology, using human intervention, using collaboration. I think that's been the foundation of my talk today. I'm very happy the way we had so many questions, and I open the floor for more questions. That's my LinkedIn if you want to interact more and spread some more ideas. I'm always happy to have more ideas to make my classes interesting and innovative. We can share ideas, and I'm happy to interact with you more on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. That's it from me, and let's have some questions.
Thank you, teacher, for such a beautiful session.
I'm glad if it helped just wake up some ideas from you and have some questions coming, because that's what FDPs are all about. Go ahead. We can have as many questions now if and the organizations permit, if there's time.
Ma'am, can we take the first question? What is the importance of digital marketing in this era, in this particular era? I think that was the question.
And why should I answer it? You tell me. What is the importance of digital marketing today?
I only know one thing. It's because of these advertisements that I'm buying the things.
That's right. And digital is all around us. You see, this FDP is happening. I'm able to connect, and all of us are able to connect because it's 5:30 or whatever, 6:30 now. In time, we are able to do this FDP because of the digital era. It wouldn't have been possible maybe before COVID. We never thought FDPs could happen like this. The way we used to come all dressed up in saris and do the decor and have everything set up for FDPs. And the FDP we are having now is only possible of the digital era. Yep.
Dr. Rushali Yogesh must be having a question.
Yes, ma'am. It was a nice, wonderful session. Now I just want to ask, starting the loop, there are many ideas keeps on coming. But as you told and discussed that innovation is related to collaboration as well. So which are the various ways we can collaborate for various types of innovations and putting the ideas into concepts and products?
That's right. Okay, perfect. Dr. Shali, that's such a big question because, we have ideas and we need to collaborate for that ideas. And therefore, we'll have to start from who do we want in our team? You remember we spoke about those 4 thinkers?
Yes,
and
yes.
So who are you out of those 4? If you are an ideator, maybe you require somebody from the other 3 to be part of your team.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you read this study, which I was talking about, and let me put that on link as well. If you read that study,
okay,
you will see there are many more thinking profiles that have been spoken about in that study. But I restricted to 4 because the more you partition those profiles, the more you cannot have those many people in your team. I like teams which are small in size where actual work happens than having such large teams where everything, gets passed on to the other person and there's no stuff actually happening on ground. 4 is a good number to start with an idea.
Okay.
And then have 4 people of different ways who think different ways to come together as a team. Yeah.
Okay.
Once the idea moves from this stage to the next stage is the time to expand, collaborate. And you will have to think, who do you want to collaborate with? Is it other departments within your organization? Is it same department but across other colleges? Is it same country, different countries, different continents? And that's the kind of flow that takes place there.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
The session was really very informative. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, next we have in line Logesh Kumar, Dr. Logesh Kumar. You may please ask your question. Okay. We also have a question here in the chat box. What is the role of emotional intelligence in marketing?
Like I said, storytelling is always part of marketer's life, and no story is complete without emotions. And we know how emotions move people into buying products, right, Nitin? That's what you said. So a product, you take it away, the emotions from the product, and you are not a human anymore. So, and we talk about personification in marketing. We speak about emotions in marketing. So, yeah.
Okay. So we have some more questions from Dr. Monica Suri and Dr. Richa Goyal. So, Monica ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Nitima. Raunica ji, I have just one question and a
Yes.
thought. Like when we get into if we start with the topic of ideation management and innovation, see, most of the time I've seen startups and other people, they failed because of either overthinking or underthinking, or over ideation or under ideation. So how do you see this process, and where is that optimal point wherein you can have the scenario of balancing both? Because I think both will take you nowhere if we get into either over ideation or under ideation. By the time you come up with something new, it is already available. So
Absolutely.
How do you see this point? Yeah.
Monica, that's very nice, because I recently started my own business, and I've always been a person who was motivated towards starting my own business. And everybody asks me, when is the right time to start your own business? When you know it all, or when you're making your own? And I taught my kids, my students, how to make business plans, and I myself am the one saying business plans don't work anymore. We are on a lean business canvas of one page, because till the time you finish making your business plan, the world out there has changed already, So it's a matter of knowing how well do you know your competitor, your industry, yourself, and how do you think your idea will fit into the world. As soon as you see your idea fitting into the world in a commercial manner, which makes business sense, I think you should jump into it, because the more you delay, the world is changing around you so fast, So it's a matter of bringing a perspective of all of this, who you are, how much belief you have in your idea, versus how well have you done your research about the world around you. And how quickly can you act and adapt once you jump in. So that's about it. And I had a question somewhere saying, I have a great idea, but I don't have tech skills to implement it. Well, that's where collaboration is. As an entrepreneur, I will not have all the answers. I need to collaborate with somebody who has that answer. So make your team. No entrepreneur can work in silos. You will have to form that team. Okay, we have a few more company questions there saying neuromarketing. Yeah, of course. I think Mr. Nitin will be the best person to take that question in our next class. Yeah, neuromarketing.
Nice question here on span of attention. It says that span of attention has always been a problem for advertisers.
Yes.
How to optimize different factors to result in the final sale?
Wow. Big question, right? Yeah. So I believe if you have a nice story, span of attention stays. If you do not have something worthwhile to say which connects with the consumer, and we all speak about that in our class, how it starts from the consumer, their needs, you relate to that part of it, and the connection holds. And digital is not doing anymore. So for example, our whatever the gen we are talking about, millennials or X or Z or alpha generation, whatever we are talking about, the span of attention is becoming smaller and smaller. Forget about advertising. Look at our classes. How many of them are reading the case studies? And we are moving from Harvard type of case studies to video cases to just make sure their span of attention stays. We have come down to TikTok videos to talk about our industry analysis than taking them through SWOT analysis. So span of attention is a genuine problem
now that students
Yeah.
are not reading the case. It is still Canada.
Absolutely across, because that's the generational problem, right? They are not, the span of attention has come down.
Okay, we're really sorry, but because we have some time constraint and even ma'am has to join her university, so I would request you to please, you can contact ma'am over the LinkedIn and you may ask her
Absolutely.
questions over there. She's always ready to answer the questions, to collaborate for different work. And
Absolutely, anytime.
thank you once again, Professor Raunica, for joining this session and giving us the beautiful insight about the ideation, idea management. And one thing that I completely agree to you, ma'am, is that we have to create an ecosystem. Because if
That's
we
right.
innovation, if we talk about idea management, then these things can never be done in silo. And we need to collaborate, right, to come up with a better and a bigger picture. And one thing, that all the innovations must be purpose driven. I truly believe in that. And that is why most of the systems, they fail, because somewhere they lack the purpose.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Enjoy your FDP. Thank you for inviting me in and wish you all the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Raunica, ma'am. Very wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Raunica, madam, once again, thanks a lot, and advance happy Christmas and advance happy New Year in Canada timings and Canada country, madam. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
So with this, we have ended with the first session. Now let's move to the second session of the day, that is on technology management. And we have another expert waiting for us, Mr. Nitin Kumar. May I please request you to switch on your camera?
I'm there. Can you see me?
Yes, hi. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Thank you, Nitin. We welcome you on behalf of Jaypee Institute of Information Technology. With me, I have Dr. Ridhima Banaw Sharma, who is the co-coordinator of this FDP. So
Hello.
I
Welcome to the FDP, sir.
Thank you.
I now introduce Mr. Nitin Kumar, who has an experience of more than 15 years, and he has worked in various software industries such as McAfee, Adobe, Qualcomm, and Google. Currently, he is working as a senior manager in Visa, and he is very enthusiastic about innovation at every level, cybersecurity, use of artificial intelligence, and how the work is changing and innovating. So we have 119 faculty members and research scholars right now on this platform, and more are joining us. We request you to take this session forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nitima, for inviting me to this session. And thank you, everyone, to join at this time for this session. We'll start on technology management. Before that, Nitima already introduced me, but I just want to add that I have a knack for finding gaps and see like no innovation is small or big, and very small innovations or new areas can actually have larger impact. So I always see that if you have a very basic question or very basic problem, please ask about it. If you know something about that, or if you have any perspective or experience about it, please feel free to indulge me on that, and we can discuss about in the area of technology management, or how can technology drive those solutions for those problems, or at least aid in those solutions. So that's my introduction. And for this session, I have a couple of slides, but there is not much content. It's more about like what kind of questions, what kind of areas we can see technology, and how can we use technology in businesses and everyday problems. And before that, I want to have an icebreaker. So just general questions, like everywhere there is a generative AI and artificial intelligence, machine learning we are talking about. So So just a random thought that how do you think, and I think many of the audience here would relate, how AI is helping in or can help in our kids' life. So please provide your one word or one sentence of thoughts in the chat box so that we can just have a little bit of icebreaker before we start. Like for my kids, yeah, great. Games, educational games, and especially like STEM related games, those are helping a lot, and it can be personalized. Now there were games earlier as well, but I see like there are STEM related words for specific years and for specific understanding of people, those can be created. More clear visualization of ideas. Yes, a lot of GenAI, if you see, a lot of tools are available to create PPT, slide, videos, where you can just write a story and a video will be created and you can show that. And it can be personalized as well as you can customize or filter based on the area. Another thing I would talk about, security from social. Like social life is, everyone has a very big social life, a lot of content or misuse of social life or misuse of social services, those are actually being there. So a lot of security can be provided with the use of AI, which it can take care of frauds or detect some kind of content which are not suitable for kids. Yes, animations, we talked about these animations with the story. Thank you for your responses. So let me just share my screen. I have a couple of slides and then we'll start on this. And I would like that if please feel free to ask any questions or anything in the mid session so that we can discuss about those things. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, sir, we can
see. Yeah.
Let me just move it to slideshow.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so before we start, what do you think about technology management? What this topic should be about, and what your expectation is from this session? So I would like to know a little bit about the expectation and understanding so that I can try to see like whether whatever the content I have can actually aiding to that, or if I will not be able to talk about some of the topics. So please, could you please share in the chat that what kind of expectation you have from this session, so I can start having those examples from my experience. Yes, Richa.
Yeah, very good evening, Dr. Nitin, and it's very nice to hear you on specifically on the area of technology management. So I'm a professor with Symbiosis, and my core area is economics. So technology is something I feel that everybody can't hide from this word technology. So, but there's just one thing which comes to my mind, like before this session, we had a session on AI, right? So generally what happens that the common people are not aware about the ethical guidelines, right? Because there are still something which is hidden with the world about using AI or using techniques, right? So my question to you will be that what are the ethical things which actually arise while using AI or maybe technology to drive decisions in the area of taking a decision or something like that?
Yes, thank you, Richa. That is a very broad topic, and also this is something doesn't come first in mind. Like when you start a business, you think about value proposition, selling, marketing, and everything. But ethics usually comes later, but has a very large impact on any of the businesses. And there are a lot of businesses which are actually built on the ethics and responsible use of AI. So we'll talk about a little bit in this in our session. Thank you.
Okay.
I think Monica has.
Yeah, so Nitin ji, good evening. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously, as an academician, though we are exploring many new teaching pedagogical aspects and tools to bring the best impact to the classroom. So I would like to understand more through the technology management that other than the simulation-based learning, wherein we are trying to connect them to virtual classrooms, not only with the students of the same university, but across the university, so that they should come up with a focus group virtual kind of ecosystem for learning process. So I would like to understand how that can be taken care of as a faculty of any stream per se, so that we should actually bring the best impact and best learning exposure and experience. Because today students come for experience to the universities. I think rest everything is on Google and ChatGPT is helping them. But I feel that until we'll not bring some value addition from our end in terms of bringing the best pedagogical innovations, which I feel, in our universities, I'm not talking about one specific university, but I think there is so much to be explored more in the field of simulation-based learning, live project, evidence-based learning, some action-oriented kind of projects, so on and so forth. Yeah, that's my expectation.
Yes, I completely agree. And as the rapid changes in technologies and rapid, like when the information is widely available and with the use of Gen AI, the use cases of information, the specific information customized to each and every need. So those are available. So how the education system can try to adapt, or maybe I'll share my perspective on that, and I think this is a topic where we can cross collaborate among us to see like what other folks are using and try to use those capabilities or processes or disciplines which they can actually work upon. And I think we can have a few minutes of cross collab in this session.
Thank you.
Yes, there's a comment there in the chat that business and ideation purpose, we should have some technical platform. I think there are technical platform, any platform should work on, like for coding, there is a Collab and multiple other cloud providers, which even are for limited uses are free. And there are multiple other platform for specific industries or specific use cases. I think most of these are available, and probably for learning purpose, all the features are available so that those can be there. But yes, maybe just try to adopt and to see which platform works. So we can talk about those, like what kind of a specific platform are there available. Anything else?
Sir, good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Krishna. I want one simple question, sir. Nitin, sir. I was in pharma, I was in banking. When coming to technology, I'm sure this banking technology has improved based on this UPIs, first order, the ATM card, the UPI. But coming to education field, the ability to think maybe slow process for the students as well as faculty. I would like to throw a light on this, sir, because this Google is there, as my previous colleague says, ChatGPT is there, we get ready-made answers, both for academics, teaching as well as research. But the ability to think for any topic should be there for both faculty and students, so that their learning process will improve. It is my question. You can kindly throw a light on this if possible, sir. Yeah.
Sure, sir. So for like educational and ability to think, I think ability to think and innovate, that is the primary requirement for anything. AI is also a tool. How we are using that tool, that's the actually driven. So that's why you see prompt engineering courses and all those things are there, because how do you write a prompt to get an answer what you want from ChatGPT or Bard or Gemini? So those things will be crucial. And how you innovate, how you design your business, tools can help, but the person needs to think about it, like what they want to do. So we will discuss about it. I think this topic will be a core for all the topics we talk about, like what kind of questions we have, what kind of industry we want to have, what kind of value proposition we want to provide. So this ability is a must for anything to happen. Even ChatGPT was thought by somebody, and how it is providing resources, and it's a trained model. So for any AI, it is trained on past data, not on future data. So it can only predict the future, but someone, how they think, how their personal experience say, what are their instincts, those will be crucial for any business. Otherwise, data is same for everyone. Everyone could be a successful business, but that doesn't happen in real life. So how we are differentiate, how we are using these tools to run our businesses or run our education or to learn. So that would be a differentiator.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We will talk about this in every scenario, in every topic we'll talk about. Yes, I think that's a very hot topic when we say in academics that plagiarism with the use of ChatGPT. I think there is a lot of work going on how to check these plagiarism. Some of these are successful, some of these are not, and it could be so. Before we go into, so I just want, I think it's a good topic for me as well. I'm a little sensitive about this topic. That should we even try to define the plagiarism differently now? Is this that time? Because I have I read about a couple of instances when a person has a website, they are using for their original work, and let's say one of the generative AI model actually pick up and trained on that, and if that person writes some data again based on their originality, it will show plagiarism, because it is, when you go to ChatGPT or Google search or anything, it will show that, but it's their original work. So how do we see this kind of corner cases? And I think it's a question for all the academicians here. Should we redefine the plagiarism in the case of ChatGPT? Maybe just for thoughts, just for seeing perspective, should we or should we not? Or if yes, then how? So I think that's a discussion topic. I don't have any answers for that, and I think not many people will have, but something we need to think about. Thank you. Okay. Do we want to have any other expectation? If anyone has, I can try to see if we are able to talk about that.
I think we can move forward, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's see. So what I'll talk about is a little bit of technology management overview. We already talked about a little bit in our questions. What do we mean by technology management? A little bit about benefits and challenges. So there are a lot of benefits in every area from technology, but there are some challenges as well. And we can talk about cons, or where maybe technology is not required. And I have some scenarios and question and answers, like for an entrepreneur or a business or anyone, what kind of questions we think about. So those are limited questions, but there can be a lot more, but few basic questions what we think, and we'll take an example and try to see what kind of answers for that each questions. What do you think about those questions and answer in a particular scenario? And I'll take the scenario from the audience so that we connect more on those topics instead of randomly taking any topic. So I'll start. So as a definition, technology management is a field which focuses on effective management and utilization of technology within an organization. Now, technology is a very broad term. Technology can be anything. It could be, now you see more software and all those things, but in manufacturing or any software based or any machines, though everything is a technology. So we cannot determine, okay, which technology is more better or which technology is not better. So, but for a specific use case or a specific area which we are talking about, technologies are different, and how do we use those technologies? And there are multiple tools in a technology which are either internally developed or provided externally. Now, some of the software, when we talk about software, it's a cloud-based software or services which are customized. So those kind of technologies we'll talk about, and more of the key components when we talk about uses of technology management is like, how do we define the technology strategy? So for any company, let's say a small company, what kind of crucial technology for me, what kind of tools, and what are the various comparison of those tools for my specific objective? So that technology strategy from a driving point of view, that is crucial for any company which either using technology or as an enabler or as a just as minor use case. That strategy needs to be streamlined or well thought. Otherwise, technology will either conflict or drive up the cost. innovation management would be a key component, like how do we want to innovate within technology or within our own core business, how technology can enable the innovation or speed up the innovation. So innovation is generally a completely different topic, and it's driven from the ability to think, as we are talking about how do we see innovation, what is innovation for me or for my use case, and can technology, any type of technology can help in my innovation. Then we'll talk about R&D, which is more of a future state, that from the current, how do we improve upon for our objective. Tech acquisition and implementation, like when we are buying any tool or we are implementing any tool. So let's say even a small company or a big company, doesn't matter. Like if I want to have a ticket management system, I can buy it from anywhere, but implementation and change management, that is the core of that particular technology innovation. Tech can be very good. It can be like ChatGPT, or which is like going over in every industry. But is it a good use, or can I implement in my organization? So that's a more probably, in my opinion, more crucial topic for any technology acquisition when we talk about can we implement it, and can we implement it effectively, or will it help me from the earlier solution what I am using. We'll talk about project management, technology transfer, governance and risk management. When we talk about it, also touch up like with the help of AI, or as the technology drive up with the changes in technology, the exposure for the organization or any organization, exposure increases. And also exposure is different what we were using 2 years ago or 5 years ago or maybe a year ago. So those exposure need to be taken care. And when an organization work with multiple vendors, suppliers, multiple companies, tools, and people within that company, then there are various type of risk. How do we take that risk? How do we filter that risk, and how do we go manage that risk? So, and how technology can hit. So there are multiple platforms, tools, implementation of those tools. Those will come in under risk management, that how do we manage those risks, or actually have a set the expectation, because it also required for regulatory compliances and overall reputation of the company. And we talked and sustainability and ethics, that how we develop our business ethically, and it should also not only for regulatory compliance but for a moral of a company, that how it should behave. So, and how technology can help in setting those standards and verifying that those standards are being met. So this is overview for technology for me, and there are multiple components. There are few major components, but there are multiple other components, and it can actually be different from the various point of view or various type of organizations. So let's talk about a little bit about benefits and challenges. So when we talk about benefits and challenges, we say competitive advantage, that we'll have competitive advantage because of technology. But what kind of competitive advantage? So let me share a scenario. A micro business, let's say a vendor, maybe a stall vendor, or when we say like chai wala, okay, let's say there's a tea shop. Okay, it's a micro business. So how can they use technology and have competitive advantage? So please share your thoughts. I want to be interactive so that we can share, we can learn from each other and see like what our various perspectives says. So let's say an example, as a tea stall is a micro business, and can they use technology? First of all, is it possible? If they can use technology, what kind of competitive advantage they can have? And is it true as well? Jaypee for payment, yes. Any online payment which are going for QR, which I think everybody, especially in India, everybody is using. In taking order, like WhatsApp order, like it's a micro business, may not be able to develop an app, and may not, like they will not be able to develop an app or website or anything, but they can use chat boxes. They can use one-to-one chat like WhatsApp or maybe SMSs to see that what kind of competitive advantage. But okay, they can use technology. What other technology can they use? Now we got the answer. They can use some kind of technology. But what kind of technology? Can we have more perspective? So this is from user point of view, let's say. So we'll divide this. So we are talking about technology from user point of view. When I want to buy a tea, I can pay. They can take a payment from GPay. They can take the order from, let's say, WhatsApp or SMS or over call. What about the perspective from the tea vendor? What other technology can they think they can use from the to get that competitive advantage? They can use deliveries, automated tea machines, yes, in machinery. If they have a big enough, they can actually use the automated tea machines. And if people like that, I personally don't like that automated teas, but it can be like if more people are there and people like it, and if they are good machines. Okay, in machineries, can they use their technology to get the supplies? Can they? Anyone wants to share? Like, you can also talk, like if you have any perspective or you have any experience. Yes, Monica, please.
Yeah, so Nitinji, there's a chai wala in Surat who is known as MBA chai wala, right?
Yes, yes,
So
I have
as
noted, yeah.
qualified MBA, and I'm telling you, he has gained a lot of competitive edge over the other vendors by using all these, technological interventions into the tea. And he's also he started they said like Modi ji, he has made the brand ambassador because of Chai Pe Charcha.
Branding,
So,
yes.
yeah. So I think he's using all these tactics and USPs to bring the best to that. So I've seen him growing since last 1 year in Surat, and he has gained attention of college students and all these working professionals, specifically outside the public enterprises and corporate houses. And I think he has gained a lot of popularity. Yeah.
Yes, and he's quite famous for that. MBA Chaiwala, I think. Now this is another perspective which Monica has raised. Dr. Monica has raised that how use of technologies, not only delivery, machinery, and everything, branding, marketing, these are tech used. How they went from micro to small businesses, and maybe it can be more. If revenue is more, it could be medium scale business. But they are not micro anymore. They are a small business at least. Yes, Dr. Logesh.
Logesh, sir, you can say.
Okay, we cannot hear you if you are on mute. Okay, so we'll move. I think we'll take that. Yes, Mr. Logesh. Okay, so we talk about not only taking order payment from the user point of view, but from the tea vendor point of view as well, that they can use marketing, they can use supplies, like they can use Swiggy. So you may have seen a lot of vendors, even small vendors, are using Swiggy, Zomato, and Zapto, and all those, Dunzo, all those for deliveries, because they don't have time to go and buy, and they are getting better prices in quick commerce. So they are using those kind of technologies to get those supplies. They can hire delivery people. Like there are multiple platforms to provide resources for various type of uses for a short time as well. So those kind of thing, and that can provide competitive advantage for everyone who are using. Now let's say a scenario. We'll talk a couple of minutes more on this. Let's take a scenario. There are tea vendors in a market, 10 tea vendors in a market, and everybody is using all the technologies. So what kind of pressure, what kind of challenges or negative consequences in such a scenario? Is it negative at all, or is it positive at all? Like there are 10 tea vendors in a market, all are using these kind of things. So how everyone is different? Any thoughts on that? Any comments or thoughts? Now, when we say that everyone is same in use of technology, in use of anything, so where we go? Yes, there are always challenges to keep up. Because let's say 10 vendors are there. It's not realistic that all revenue is same for everyone. So whoever is selling more or whoever is having more profit earn less expenses. And I'm not talking about expenses in a term in the stall. Let's say one has a family of 4 and one have a family of 8 and one have a family of 2. So the expenses are less for a family. So a family of 8 having the same revenue, family of 2 having the same revenue, who can spend more on expanding their business? A family of 2. So those kind of personal scenarios. So we go back to the early now, before the technology, that what kind of setting, what kind of each person's situation is, so that they can actually keep up with those technologies. And next thing we'll have value proposition. So Dr. Vishnu has said, niche selling will help. Yes, the value proposition, whose tea is better, who are providing more options or maybe less options. Maybe I just want to make a ginger tea and nothing else. But this is so popular that everyone will come for that. And personalization, like who can personalize, who can customize based on their need. They will have a chance to improve services. Yes, Netflix is one example in a large scale for that kind of thing. Innovation of variety of tea with different flavors. Yes. So we have to go now. Again, technology will come. Now they have a various area. Now technology will come again. Marketing, branding, providing value proposition. So all those things, again, they have to keep up with the technology provide. So this rapid change in technology and adapting to that, that's something everybody has to keep up. So it creates a lot of competitiveness. So everybody has to keep up, otherwise they will fall behind. So if you see that technology is changing and technology adoption, it has to be changed. Otherwise, people who are not using technology effectively, they will fall behind. That's the consequence of this kind of situation in which we are right now. Because everybody is using AI. Maybe a lot of people, in my opinion, a lot of people maybe don't have the use of those AI, but they want to explore. They want to see whether it can help or not. Because if they are not using, at least if I say using a strong word, if I say not even exploring the Gen AI capabilities, then they will surely fall behind from the competitiveness. They may or may not gain. Yes, style and marketing of that style. So we'll go to another benefit. So we talk about competitive advantage and benefits. It surely have benefits, but it will have challenge, and it also creates a marketplace where competitive merit has the definition, like merit will win on uses of technology, on uses of business. So we talked about the challenges about rapid technology changes in this scenario. So let's take another benefit, operational efficiency. So let's take another example of, do anyone want to suggest an example where we should talk about operational efficiency? Anyone like have any example, any industry where operational efficiency is more and we should talk about it? If you have something you want to teach or have an academic session with the students on operational efficiency, we can take an example. So let's take logistics. Is that good? So we can take logistics in, let's say, do we want to talk about Amazon or Uber or any of the logistics? Let's say that, yes. So logistics, operational efficiency in logistics. So let's say delivery, we have a delivery company which provide packages pan India or globally. So how operational efficiency can be benefited in that particular organization from technology uses, and what kind of technology we can use that. So we'll take Amazon logistics, like Amazon deliveries, basically. So as you say, like when the scale is too high, like Amazon logistics, like millions of packages are going daily basis. Thousands or maybe lakhs of employees are working on it. But still, you see a lot of cases of delays, a lot of cases of mispackaging and all those things. And Amazon logistics is supposed to be the best in the world at that scale. So still those things are happen. So how technology can help? So let's start what kind of technology we should have for operational efficiency improvement. Let's say order management systems. So as soon as we go to Amazon, it's an order management system. We select something, we pay for it, and in order management system, then we have payment management. So these order management, payment management, and then the queue filtering, getting those items from a location to another location and predict the time when it will come. So that comes in efficiency. Now, how technology can help? Let's say we'll talk about payment maybe in another scenario. We'll talk about logistic now. So let's say when you give the order, is it confirmed or not? We get immediate answer. There may be cases there when it is not available or it will get available later. But if you see some sites maybe or maybe few years back, a lot of times order used to cancel. So technology enablement to keep track of all the inventories and see like what is available and what is not available, and on the fly actually confirming that okay, this particular product you will get that particular product, and for sure, like mostly it's very close to 100%. Then that product getting to their centers, different resource allocations, and then coming to you. Now, while coming to you and while that particular package is traveling, Dr. Monica has that by eliminating the longer routes and taking shorter routes by adding more. Now, I'll use a more generic term because longer routes and shorter routes, it may be definition may be different for everyone. So just a perspective, let's say you have 1 lakh order for, let's say, Delhi location, and most of it's coming from pan India. Let's say not going globally. Let's say pan India it's coming from. So what kind of routes? So it's a critical path, right, for all the routes. So what kind of critical path can be created where it takes shortest amount of time, which least cost, and with the higher prediction of less other kind of issues. So let's say other kind of issues, I mean to say like geographies where it may actually have some kind of disturbances, or maybe there are hilly areas where landslide based on the weather, like where it is rain, the speed right now, okay, I tried, okay, after 2 days we will take this road, but what is the weather prediction of that? If it is raining or some storm is coming, then it may change afterwards, but will not be able to change. Blinkit and Jaypee, for quick commerce, their model is preferred, but that is for quick commerce because they are using the distances. Amazon uses hub and spoke in its supply chain management. Yes, blockchain. So all these technologies can be used for operational efficiency, but for the use case is more important because all these technologies can be used, and mostly these are automated. You provide your data sets and they will actually, if the data set is accurate enough, maybe some kind of like maybe 90% predictability. So these technologies will provide very good answers, but the use case matters here. Like packages, it may be different use case. For cars, cabs, let's say for Uber, it may be a different use case. They may want to take a larger route. So defining the parameters of your operational efficiency is the core to use any technology. So we have various models, various technology for these. Blockchain is a very good example because I think most of the logistic related operational issue, blockchain is being used as a technology for everything. But defining those parameters, what is efficient for a particular use case, that becomes a core for this. For Amazon logistics, it's like package to be delivered within the predicted time with the least cost, and with the return management system. So that's a different thing. But for this particular, these technology will help. Thank you for your suggestions and remarks. Now, yes, a drone. I think you have used Spencer's, and I think you may have heard of globally as well. There are like pizzas deliveries are happening, food deliveries are happening. Uber also tried, Amazon also have been in trying phases that drones can be used for deliveries and packages also. So Amazon packages, food and pizza especially. So these has been going on for a few years, but I think because of the areas or geographies, I don't see a lot of traction. Not traction is there, but I personally haven't seen it, but maybe there are already use cases which are being used by drones. Drones for deliveries. Drones are being used for monitoring purposes and a lot of security purposes. So those are being used. But for deliveries in public, I may not have seen much, but it's there. Yes, and it's not our existing infrastructure, but it's worldwide, because infrastructure needs to be changed for drones. And a lot of, I think that you can say birds are there, and drones have a life and a range. So that may be an issue, like similarly with driverless cars and electric cars. So those things are there. So infrastructure will change, but it will probably keep up. But drones for security purpose, as you can see in real life as well as movies, it's being used a lot. And drones provide efficiency. So for rescue missions, drones are being used, robots are being used. So those technology have been being used a lot before. I think few years now, maybe 20 years, robots are being used. But drones and robots with the Gen AI capabilities, when they have a lot of information. Is somebody wants to speak? Okay, so drones. So I would take an example, like you may have seen in rescue missions, a lot of drones are being used. And with Gen AI, let's say you have a model with 3 billion parameters who can actually have all the soil example, all the soil samples, and all the testing, what kind of moisture is there, what kind of detonation can be done in a particular type of soil, which will impact that many meters. So that type of data, a lot of data from 50 years has been taken. A model will billions of parameters be used on that. And now a drone has a rescue mission in a specific type of soil or area, where the drone have that all the crux of that data and is customized to a particular soil sample for a specific example. Now, if a drone say like, okay, I have to dig 50 feet with the detonation, with the remote detonation. So what, and the people are stuck after 50 meter, what kind of detonation or what series of detonation I should perform so that people are not hurt. So that kind of data is now easily available, and with the help of Gen AI, it can be actually customized. To obviously the predictability, the accuracy, it will remain a challenge, where people has to see like what kind of model fits for such type of situation. But that can be actually driven out. It is possible now, so that a lot of man hours can be reduced. And this logistic problem, this is also a logistic problem, where the reduced time can be reduced and rescue can be a lot faster than earlier. Yes. So should we move to the next topic?
Yes.
Yes. We talked a lot about it. So innovation and growth. So we talked about competitive advantage, operational efficiency. They will obviously aid to innovation and growth of an organization. And so anyone want to talk about any different perspective, or if you want me to share my perspective on any different area related to innovation?
Your innovations are good, sir.
Yes, Dr. Vijay?
Your innovations are, whatever you are saying is very interesting, sir. Please keep it on.
Sure. So in innovations, when we say any type of innovation, so we have the data. Now with Gen AI, we can actually use that data with different scenarios, and we can try to customize it. So that will provide, like, let's say COVID vaccination. So could COVID vaccination would have been faster if Gen AI, ChatGPT or Gen AI capabilities at this scale, what we have now, could have been faster? Do you think it could have been faster to make those vaccines, or it is faster now for other vaccines to make it? We have a lot of medical data. So let's say in the COVID, a lot of x-rays were taken for the lungs, where the infected lungs were being tried out. So there are a lot of studies where the lung cancer related disease and various other disease in the organ are being used by Gen AI, because now models are trained in hundreds of thousands of images, different, what is true, what is correct. And I have done a couple of projects. And if you see the capstone projects in any learning system, if you go to any AI ML course, you will at least see one of the capstone project they are trying to make, that they will provide a data set of a specific disease, which has been trained of hundreds of thousands of images, let's say X-ray images or MRI images. And if you provide a new image, it can say that with 80% or 90% accuracy, this person have this disease or not, and with the accuracy score. So those kind of scenarios are actually a lot of being innovated, a lot of model are being created, and it provide a life-saving innovations and growth patterns in medical field. So those kind of innovations are there where the people lives are being saved or decisions are being made. Yes, Dr. Monica.
Yeah, so Nitinji, in reference to this point, I would also like to share, everybody heard about the Qatar Airlines, you know, we call it Qatar or Qatar, whatever.
Yes.
So they recently came up with the crew members, Sama. She's AI-based crew member.
Yes.
And that has brought a lot of attention and attraction to the passengers on board. And they also claim that their growth has increased up to certain, proportion from the last many years, because the complaints have started coming to the decline stage more, because everybody is enjoying, with the presence of that Sama as AI. So I think that can also be one of the best examples when it comes to innovation and growth. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, Dr. Monica, thank you for sharing that. And if you see, when we talk about innovation, they are first in the line, or maybe few first, and they have a competitive advantage now. So whether they may be not providing much value or much change to the value, but they have that competitive advantage. And with the data they will gain, they will grow and they will provide more value. So other airlines also have to compete on that in either the same or the differently, but otherwise they will fall behind on that particular front.
Yes, thank you.
Now we'll come to enhanced decision making. So when we say everybody,
I have a question here. I think you have passed out your engineering 12 years back,
15
right?
years back, yeah.
15 years back. And now you must be having those technical hands with you who must be 2 years or having 3 years or 4 years of experience, right?
Yes.
How do you see that, how innovation has grown up in higher education or in industry, or in the engineering field and in other fields?
So in my perspective, like when I work with my team and other folks over the years, so as technology has been changed, innovations, there were more innovation at the level of code. People were like, at my time when I was a very fresh, a couple of years old, we talk about a specific scenario that, okay, this is my product, I need to see the innovation or what gaps are there. But right now, what I see with students and the people who are there, they are thinking beyond their product, beyond the team they are working on. They are thinking how my product is impacting the overall company, how my change can actually impact the product and the overall company, and is it something, and they can actually collaborate. They can actually see right now with all the data consumed at one place, like as an example is chatbots. So if you see every major company, I think at least the mid-level company and large-scale companies, they have their own chatbots overall, as well as specifically, like HR chatbot is different. If you see all those, where they have all the data and the models are trained on that data and providing queries. Now, if I want to say, I want to develop a product like this, I can go to these either chatbots or internal chat GPTs, that, okay, this is something I'm thinking about. Is there something related to that already? Earlier, I have to look at the company portal. I try to find out what kind of data is there, what kind of product is there, and it is not. But with generative AI, I can provide a scenario and see if something is available. Who built that? And let's collaborate with them. So that kind of collaboration innovation is changing a lot. What I see, especially in last 3-4 years, where people are thinking beyond their product and thinking about the company's impact, organization impact, collaboration, and industry impacts.
But what we see is a different picture, because nowadays what we are seeing that, in fact, in management, because I'm a management school professor, Creativity is going down. Students are no more creative now. So they are not coming up with creative stories. They're not coming up with creative
I
things.
second you with that. They've
Yes.
stopped using
Yeah.
their brains.
Yes.
The whole, they don't even see the output that is generated through these portals. They
Yes.
just simply copy paste it.
Yeah.
That's where we are facing huge challenge.
New challenge. And I think most of the faculty members sitting over here would definitely agree to that. If yes, then you can please thumbs up, right?
Yes. Yes.
But that's a challenge that we are facing, and especially in higher education.
So I have a little bit different perspective on that. So when we talk about creativity, so our definition, are we lagging? So in my opinion, I want to ask you actually that are we lagging behind in the definition of creativity? Are we seeing like, okay, for me, creativity 10 years back, 5 years back was this, okay, people were creating their own projects, creating their own story, creating their own code. And I'm still with the landscape has changed now. With this changed landscape, should I continue to have the definition of creativity the same? Should I do like why not? So you have heard of open book exams, right? Everybody has heard of, and those were quite successful in many of the areas. That okay, you have a book. If you have a mind, you can actually answer. And still people had different marks. People failed in those, although everybody has books. But the thinking of using that book in what way and what to write in that particular time. So I think we should think about, for my perspective, I think from academics perspective as well, but I think you can shed more light on this. So we should try to adapt to new landscape for the creativity. Why not use ChatGPT? Use ChatGPT. Still, I would say if you have 100 students, you have the same 10 set of questions, you provide ChatGPT access, okay, you take anything, still answers will be different. So I would say that, and maybe I think the presentation skills and all those things, which are more personal in nature, I think those changes the way how we behave, how we present our answers. So I think a lot of think about how do we say creativity or talent, how do we say skills, those needs to change in my opinion, that we should adapt to new landscape and see with the ChatGPT, AI, and a lot of advances to be happening. Maybe I expect there are a lot of advances will happen. With that, what should we think about creativity? What kind of projects or learnings we should provide students so that they can use these tools? So I think instead of banning these tools, we should promote and see where they stand.
Okay, so next collaboration is with the AI tools, right? To enhance creativity.
Yeah. So we are talking about innovation now. Let's say decision making. So all this data we have. So a very basic example, we have this transcript in our Meet and all the video chat, right? We have transcripts. So all we are talking in 1.5 hour, everything is being transcribed. Now with the AI, there is a default model which will create some AI notes, what are the various topics we talked about, what are the follow-up tasks and everything. And with that, we can also use our prompt. Okay, I want to talk about, okay, Nitin talked about competitive advantage. So what kind of question or area he tried to talk about? So maybe I can put that prompt and a very specific answer, few lines will come from overall transcript. So that kind of availability of information and generating the information responses has impacted a lot of decision making, because decision is based on the data and information. So based on that information, if we have information earlier, we can make decision earlier. And decision making would be a crucial role for at every level, from the business leaders to a fresher. That, okay, I want to apply to this job. Should I apply or not? I can use AI to use that job description. I can use my CV and match it, whether it matches or not, my experience. And okay, let's apply on it. And you can see that in LinkedIn. Okay, you are fit for this job, or you are fit, you 7 of 10 skills matches. So all these AI models are doing, they are taking all the job description, trained on the CVs and seeing, okay, whether it matches or not. So that is just one example, but a lot of decision making in payments, in stockbroking, like stockbroking is like where with technology, it is faster a lot, and you have to take a split time decisions. And even algo trading, which is taking decision on our behalf. So all these technologies are there. Risk mitigation, although there are various type of risks are there, but in technology, and it is related to decision making. When we have information available early, we can try to see the risk early and try to mitigate it. So it's all about if some package is to be delayed, or let's say package is not available, inventory is gone. If I don't have a real-time inventory, I can maybe confirm the package for some customer, and they may actually, okay, we'll confirm, and then I have to cancel. That company has to cancel. So that's a very bad scenario for customer, and it has happened. If you say the big day sales, in most of the people bought iPhone for 10,000 rupees and later it canceled. Okay, inventory gone, inventory is gone, and they are not happy about it. Nobody will be happy about that. So those kind of risks can be mitigated earlier if we know, with the use of technology, we know those risks earlier. So knowing the risk is the major part where technology can help a lot on each of the items. So I will like to also talk about the challenge about security and privacy. Then we can move to other area. So I'm actually very close to cybersecurity. I started my career with malware threat researcher, malware research. So, and overall my experience somehow in various areas of cybersecurity, I have been like privacy, risk management. I have been involved in such a kind of areas. So with the technology, like we had earlier antiviruses. So many of you would know that we only had antivirus as a user in our system. Now antivirus is a must now, but there are a lot of technology which is actually securing the network, securing your password, securing the data, securing the payments. So a lot of technology in place, and it's been changing a lot. And data privacy has been a broad topic what it was from 10 years before, because you very often a lot of public announcements come. Okay, this bank has lost this many cards, this government organization lost the PAN card data, or this company lost the Aadhaar card data. So these kind of data privacy, a lot of things are happening now with AI, and technology is helping a lot. Technology is changing a lot now. AI enabled in technology, so it's not, AI is not separate from technology. So technology has to adapt the AI and then provide solution or improve the experiences for each and everyone. So these things are happening where the security can be improved, privacy can be improved. Also, it's a challenge. It's a big challenge where with this landscape where all the information is there and you can use, okay, I have a maybe earlier it was, I have a maybe 100 documents and I want to find, let's say somebody with malicious intent, they have 100 documents and they want to find what Nitin has been doing. And somewhere in that document, that data information is there. Earlier, it was a little difficult to find out. Okay, you have to search and all. Now with Gen AI, I can just parse those 100 documents maybe in a second, maybe more, a little bit more than that, and just see what Nitin has been doing, and it can actually collect everything and provide the information very easily. That's a very basic example, but you see 100 terabytes of data, searching through those 5 years back was very difficult, but now it is not difficult and it is achievable. So people who are actually reluctant to perform those, they can do those, they can find that information. So this is a big challenge where we'll come, and we'll talk about responsible use of AI a little bit after. So we'll move. Any questions or any feedback, any perspective if you want to share or want to talk more about? Okay. So I'll move to the next area. So we'll try to understand some of the use cases. So before the use cases, we have questions to ask. So we'll switch the gear a little bit. We'll talk about entrepreneur. Let's say that entrepreneur, like as an entrepreneur, if I want to start something or if I want to teach something to a group of students, that what if you are starting some business or starting an org or maybe working as a leader level or anything, so or maybe creating their own brand or marketing or something, what type of basic questions to see like you have some answers of? So there can be a lot of questions in related to operations, manufacturing, or a lot of things, but I have taken few of the basic ones which relates to this FDP so that we can talk about this area. So let's say the first column you see, there are 6 questions, and I think these are typically 6 Ws, 1 how, 5 Ws, 1 house type of questions that any entrepreneur must have. That what kind of problem, they are trying to solve, what is their target audience and unique value proposition, and what is the cost and how they are funding and what are their goals. So this if you want to go to in detail, but I think there's no point, no need at this time. But anything you want to talk about from the first column? These are from my education as well. So what I have read in book 15 years back, 10 years back. So those things are there. So now come to the technology. Since this is a technology management session, so what technologies are critical? As we talked about, different businesses, different technologies. So as a business owner, let's say tea vendor, if I want to start, what kind of technologies are critical to me? What tools or software or machinery do I need for those technologies? Because in that technology, let's say I want to have a ticket management. There are Jira, there is many other companies which are providing some kind of solutions with some type of cost. There are free things as well. So is my business can use free? So those kind of decisions as well as information one need to have before they start, or maybe as they start. Do I need a website or mobile app? Now in such today's scenario, maybe not with GenAI, but I think last 5-6 years, do I need a website or mobile app? Earlier it was website, then mobile application comes, then people have, all the organization has both. But now the new organization is a website required, is a mobile app required. Maybe for a tea vendor, mobile app is required. But maybe for a corporate supplier, like who wants to supply logistic solutions to a big organization, let's say Amazon, do I need a website or mobile app for corporate setup? So those kind of decisions, maybe for them website is required, mobile app is not required, because they are providing corporate links for those websites, or maybe based on cost, or maybe based on value. So this question needs to be answered. How will I collect and analyzing customer data? Now, why would I say analyzing customer data? Because as you may say, data is the new oil. That was the line from 10 years back. Now also you say all the information, all AI is enabled on data. And now generic is kind of generic data collection. All the most of the models has been built, and those are pretty good. But now it is coming to specific needs. For my customer, for my situation, I have this data. Can I use existing models which has been trained on billions of lines of information or billions of lines of data? Is actually, can I use that model and try to analyze my customer data? So the situation is now on the specific needs of AI models. Is my technology stable? Let's say I had a vision of going a big business, but I start with a free tool with limited perspective. But anything I want to buy now, it is changing the scenario or landscape, how my company culture is or how my company working. So is my technology stable, or scalable? So that I have to see. So these kind of technology questions, one need basic questions. There's a lot of questions, but basic question one need to ask before any business start or any organization start or any solution. Any questions there? Or if you want to share any other questions, do you think one should ask about technology before they start their own?
If you have any questions, you can please type them, or you can please ask them by raising your hand. You can go ahead.
Could you, excuse me, sir. Yeah, could you please share the ways to find out what is the best technology for us for a particular task or a particular job we do? So how to find the best technology or best like AI tool?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir, for asking this question. This is
Also,
always, I think,
sir, sorry
yes.
to interrupt, but also I would like to say the technology is something that keeps on changing. So when we are using any technology for our business, it is very important to understand what is the technology we were using earlier and how this new
Yes.
technology would be better, which we are planning to use, how that is sufficing the benchmark as well. In this
Yes.
updated and today's world, how new AI or new technology is helping my business to grow, or maybe my customers to fulfill their needs and wants.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Dr. Vandana. So now this let's talk about in two separate scenarios for this. When we talk about technology, what we are using, is it not sufficient? Should we take a new technology? And what is the best technology for me? So let's take it in two scenarios. One is the older approach, which is also still very relevant, and I think most relevant now, is experience and talking to people. So as you can see, with the in AI, still with the use of AI, remote work and everything, still collaboration is a big challenge as well as requirement. All the companies are saying that, okay, we need people to come to office because we are seeing less innovation. People are not collaborating. So when we say best technology, it always drives upon like what my experience is, what other people experience is, and how do I connect those. Let's say let's say tea vendor or logistic, and let's say tea vendor, I want to get the supplies. I used to get it from, let's say, Zepto. And when I say, yeah, this is getting a little bit expensive, hey, you use Blinkit, yeah, I get same order, I'm getting 10 rupees less over Blinkit. But it can change next day. Next day, maybe Zepto is offering more discounts. So those kind of how I'm using those technology or technology solution, that personal experience as well as collaboration with other folks who are in the same, who are having the same problem or providing the solution for similar problem, that would help a lot. It was relevant hundreds of years, and even now I think with the help of AI, distinguishing what we are getting from AI related solutions or technology related solutions, and seeing the personal touch, okay, what would work and what cannot work, and what worked for other people which may not be for me, that is still is a people driven solution. That's a one scenario. Now for a newcomer, so for an experience where we have already used some technology, I think AI can help providing the information that about the cost, about the features. AI can help in those scenarios, but taking a decision on personal experience, that is always have been relevant, and in my personal experience, that is still relevant now, and it is more relevant even in last 5 years. Collaboration with other folks who have used it. So, and the other is for newcomers, that AI, let's say, take an example of ChatGPT. I want to create a recruitment solution company, that I want to provide recruitment related services, and I want to start a company for that. So what kind of technology? I know I would need a website or mobile app. I can ask this question, what kind of automation I would need, a client list and all those things. I can try to find technologies in each of the area. Okay, for website, I can use either the free website or some of the tools. I can try to find out, okay, for even I can use ChatGPT. One can use AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, even Google has Gemini enabled now. That, okay, what are the various free technologies to create website? And here it comes prompt engineering, how you ask your question and how you develop over time your question, that, okay, what kind of question I need to ask to find it. So in website, what kind of technology need? I need a domain name, I need a certificate, I need a designer or maybe free template. So those kind of technology is getting that information is faster. Now, what is best? You can always try comparison based on the feedback and based on, so think time. The main point is all the ChatGPT or all the AI models is trained on past data. It's not future data, or they can only predict the what could be future based on their past data. So if your problem is very specific, quite generic, which have been in public domain a lot, like a tea vendor, but if you have a, let's say, I want to have a new, there is a new disease which is being known now. There is not much data, there is not much scan images are not there, a very new disease is there. So if I want to try what kind of best technology or best model I can use to drive this medicine or find this disease about information from scanning images, there is not much data. So AI probably won't be useful. Here, the people knowledge, like doctors who can think about, who can predict about, okay, this how can behave, is more relevant. However, in maybe few months time, that experience built into the data set and AI model is trained on that, and then AI model will be more useful. So that's we have to think about that. In best tech, a personal experience will matter, is still relevant, a lot relevant, but AI can help getting the information and the comparisons quite fast. and most of the, especially if it's a generic technology, then we can easily find that, okay, what tool is you can take the comparison on the cost basis, value basis, feature basis, and you can provide a scenario of a story of your business and see what fits best. And currently I have seen in most of the generic cases, predictability is high, like it's a good with high predictability, which will improve over time. Yes,
Dr. Paul, you have a question? Dr. Paul, you can please unmute yourself to ask the question.
Should we move?
So based upon the discussion that we are doing with it, what one thing that I can understand that AI is there to accelerate the things.
Yes, you are apt in your it is accelerating the growth, innovation. It is driving new innovation, but that's a completely different topic, and it's about new products. But whatever innovation we have, it can actually accelerate. We have information faster. We can think about scenarios faster.
So there are patterns which are not visible by human eyes. AI can help us to visualize such patterns so that we can project the things in a better way.
Yes, and this is where we come in the third column. How AI can help. How AI can help personalizing customer experiences. So we talked about storytelling. So I have a company. A story for my company for kids could be different. For a different age group, it could be different. I can have a scenario. AI can help me build those campaigns which are related to a maybe age-based or gender-based or maybe geographical-based, region-based. So those kind of customer experience can be made faster and more apt to more accurate to what we need. And based on the past data, it can see what worked for a different region, which maybe, let's say there was an example, I'm not sure how true is that one of the premium soap making, which is cost is quite high, it is more sellable product in village regions of India than the urban cities, and which is a very expensive product comparatively, which is completely not sync how one would think, okay, because of the cost. But those kind of things has happened, and AI can help try to see, okay, this has happened, so there may be some prediction or more data analysis needed for such kind of scenario. So same, predict trends in my industry. What repetitive tasks can be automated, like transcripts and whatever the internal or external tasks which can be automated. How can AI be used to gain a competitive advantage? So we talked about that. So repetitive task means that cybersecurity, it has a lot of impact in cybersecurity, because in the software industry, vulnerabilities and security issues are more prevalent because of regulatory compliance as well as the security as well. Because regulatory compliance all over the world are so strict, and even if some companies known for security hacks, their public reputation gets tarnished and they lose a lot of business because of that. So what kind of security tasks can be automated? So AI and especially generative AI helping a lot in finding those and fixing those, because problem is same, but most of the people has it, the same problem, and it can be solved in the same way, similar ways. So AI is helping a lot in these kind of scenarios. So any questions on past, then we will take this a little scenario before we take this scenario.
Hello.
Yes, Dr. Sir.
Yeah, Dr. Sarkar here. It was a nice discussion on the AI and technology and its innovation. I have a submission over here that if we take innovation and AI as a tool of improvement, then it is very good for us. But if human beings are dependent on AI or more on artificial intelligence, then it will be a curse. That we should not forget it actually. But what is happening in today's world, that due to lack of knowledge and lack of creativity, we are more dependent on the artificial intelligence, and we are not using the artificial intelligence in a right manner, and that is actually misleading us to a default. That is a major issue which we should cater before moving to our dependency towards AI. That's my submission for today's night.
Yeah. Dr. Soren, I agree with that, but we have to keep in mind it is going to happen. AI dependency is going to happen, although there are various perspectives. It may be good, it may be bad, it may not uh, uh, cater much to that, but we have to think about from that perspective. AI dependency is going to happen. How we now what we see, how can not, and we should not even try to see, okay, how can we stop it? It is going to happen, in my opinion, but how can we circumvent, navigate, and educate better so that people know that since dependency is there, but we should also think out of that. So I think, in my opinion, we should focus on keeping in mind AI dependency is going to happen maybe in next 10 years, 15 years, but we should try to see how do we navigate AI. I think that's, in my opinion, that's a better approach, or maybe suitable approach to think about in future.
Absolutely. It's the similar way when computers enter
Yes.
into our life,
Yes.
right? The same question and the same scenario.
And Dr. Soren, we lost you.
Dependent on computers, and we are able to get use of this computer technology in a best manner. And this I hope that we will be using AI also in that manner also.
Yes.
Till a new innovation or new technology creeps into our life.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
So we
Thanks a
should
lot.
think about how do we navigate as a collaborate on that. Dr. Sai Krishna? There raise hands. Yeah, Dr. Sai Krishna.
Dr. Sai Krishna, would you like to say something? We can continue, Nitin.
Okay, sure. So this is a small scenario. So I used ChatGPT to create this table, because I didn't want to. I don't want to promote any tool or say like I'm promoting something. So this table is purely from ChatGPT, where the small scale manufacturing organization, what kind of department is there, what kind of technology, generic technologies is there, and what kind of tools are available. So Dr. Dinesh, will come to your questions a little bit after that. So these departments, as you can see, there are production, quality control, and various departments which are in any organization usually happens. And there are technology like machines related, CAD systems, ERP, CRM, recruitment tools, marketing platforms, and cloud computing, cybersecurity. So all we talked about different technologies in different scenarios. So these are various departments, technologies are there, and there are tools. Now, when AI comes in, so we'll be using still the tools, but AI enabled in these tools. Let's say logistics, Google Maps. So how Google Maps API, how do we connect with those? How do we implement Maps AI for our logistic partners, for our people working in this? How do we train them? So using those tools and using those AI capabilities, and use the change management to implement those faster if you want to try. So those will be the crucial, because all companies are using AI enabled solution. We have to see for our objective which API or which feature we use and how do we implement it. So this is the snapshot for a small scale organization. And if somebody is starting a small scale manufacturing organization, from technology point of view, they should think about whether they are be using these departments or not. Let's say, take an example. If a small factory is there, and let's say paper making factory, they may have a business which is a local business, and they can supply to locally there in their geographic area, and they don't have much competition. So many of the departments may not be required. So maybe production, quality control, those will be there. ERP and logistics, they may not use technology. If it is not a big business, it's a small scale business, they can use the instincts and how people have been worked over the years, that they get an order, they supply the order within a time frame, and they may not need any system, and they can use the paper receipts. No need of technology in that, because it will add to the cost. But if that factory want to have 4 more factory now in different regions, and providing different parts of a machine or parts of a product, So let's say one providing white paper, one is providing pink paper, or maybe different kind of paper embedding in different factories which are geographically dispersed. Now for logistic, I'm a customer. I want all the order at the same time, not every day. So I have 100 bundles of different kind of paper. So at that time they would need logistics. They would need human resource. They would need the maintenance to deliver those packages in a same order manner and within a time period, because the risk is now more. And in this kind of scenarios, risk happens where say, okay, you need to provide by 7 days, otherwise there will be penalty. So they have to look at the risk management as well. And when they are using any software, there will be cybersecurity issues. Should they use any app? Should they use any website? Or should they use any cloud provider services? So those questions will come up as we scale. So when we say small scale, what kind of technology we have for small scale, and is it scalable? We are using now GPay for all the payments, but maybe if we have corporate partners, they may not use the GPay. They say, okay, we'll go the check and balances. We'll go provide check or draft by this bank on those, and you need to have this bank. You have to be onboarded to this bank premises, to this bank's websites, or they as their partner. Then only will work. So those kind of scenarios and technology, one should find out for each of the department, for each of the technology, and try to find what is the best for them to work upon and whether it is scalable or not. Any feedback, any perspective you want to or talk about the small scale manufacturing? Since we have 10 minutes, so I would like to wrap it up. So if any questions are there. So this is the last slide. I had similar table for medium and large scale businesses. We can talk on this maybe later. But for a small scale, like that we already talked about, that leveling the playing field. When we talk about a new entrepreneur, new company formed up, they can actually use the AI tools to be at a level where other organizations are working on. And it's comparatively easier than earlier now. Like creating marketing, content creation, customer support, a lot of technology, cloud technologies there, which are using AI features as well. So from small companies, for small companies, I would say it's creating a level playing field much faster than earlier, where Gen AI tools are helping. For medium scale companies, which are already working for a few years, creating the competitive edgeness about the product customization, analytics, customer retention, identifying new features, or maybe matching up with some, let's say there's a new cloud service provider which wants to compete with AWS, Google, Azure, Oracle, but they can have a level playing field from a technology point of view. Whatever everyone is using, they have that enabled. Now they have to think about, they can easily see what kind of features one cloud provider is providing, what I can provide. And they can use Gen AI to see like where they lack at a various point of time for a feature setup point of view or value point of view. So Gen AI can help those companies very fast, much faster than earlier. For large companies, as you are seeing, all the big companies, all the MNCs, they are using Gen AI for scalability, for cost reduction. Say, okay, how can we reduce their cost for travel? So this is, I think, post-COVID, and especially with post-COVID, travel was supposed to start a lot, but with Gen AI capabilities, travel can be, a lot of cost can be saved, because everybody can work remotely, everyone have the information readily, they can talk about not personal relations are there, but travel cost can be reduced a lot of collaboration cost can be reduced if you're using Gen AI tools. So those kind of information, those kind of areas where large companies are working. Yes,
Monica.
Yeah, so Ji, can you please throw some light on, because still if we see the Indian ecosystem, specifically the industrial ones and sectorial ones, so there is, there's not a balance of organized and unorganized sector. So still when we see the ease of doing business, that is more towards the unorganized sector, specifically when it comes to textile, jewelry, these diamond and other sectors altogether. So how do you think, where will we will be after 10 years ahead in terms of bringing AI interventions? Because still there's a lot of scope and people are reflecting on, should we go ahead with that or should we go for the traditional mode of, doing the business? So where do you see this, and where we stand as a country in terms of AI interventions, if I ask you? Yeah.
Yeah. So there are two things. Let's see, like from the unskilled point of view, unskilled labor, not unskilled labor, and the not unorganized sectors. So in those sectors, technology is being used. Let's say payment, the Paytm and Gpay and all these UPI, these technology penetration is much higher, because that's providing a very crucial element of getting the payment very fast. So AI innovation will come where it will solve their crucial problems. So like logistics. So those problems, if some AI related tools are solving those kind of problems, I think penetration will be faster, and they will come onto those platforms on those areas much faster than otherwise. It will happen like, as we talked about, like computer related era. People, as a human nature, we don't want change, and if it is a drastic change, then nobody wants it. So embracing change as a culture, I think that will develop over time. People will see, earlier the Paytm and all, people were little hesitant, like you say, the cloud services, it's much before than AI, but still a lot of corporate big companies are reluctant because of various genuine issues as well, like security and other issues, not controlled issues, because this is something somebody else is providing. Similarly with the unorganized sector, that it will have maybe 10 years is less time, but we will have that intervention from the use of tools. That AI enabled tools will there, like you very good example after payment, even much more than payment is use of NLP. Like all NLPs are based on AI models, and you see it is everywhere all across world, that everybody is using those phones and the NLP related technology. When we are talking, we are using audio, we are just providing thoughts, and we are just finding voice search, right? So all these things are happening. Unorganized sectors are using it. If you look at the domestic helps and everybody, they are using related to like, how do they voice search, how do they send voice message if they don't know how to read or write. So these things are happening, but from point of view, it has to be for the tools and it has to solve their crucial problems.
So how do you see the cost factor into this? Because once you start intervention of AI in your processes and procedures, so obviously the upgradation and of the higher versions of AI, getting them upgraded from time to time, don't you think it will actually be a cost issue also in coming times?
It could, and any like AI, creating AI tools, AI models is also a business. Although there are a lot of open source availability is there, but providing the customized solution, because open source you will have models, you have to implement those, so you'll have to hire talented people, talent who actually knows about those technology, who can maintain the technology, who can upgrade. Also the cost of those companies, but I think it will solve some other problem. It will let go of like either solve some problem, or it will let go of some other expenses. So cost wise, I see there will be uptick, but as a personal, I cannot foresee much on that, or maybe it's too early to me to say, or maybe I'm not the right person to talk about this, or maybe foresee those things. But there will be cost. But when we talk about unorganized sector, which is too wide, cost will come later point of view. First is adoption. And this is what all the big companies are doing. They want people to adapt to those technology. They want people to use UPI, use GPay, use Paytm, use NLP, voice search, so that when they adapt and that solves their crucial business problem, that will actually then they can try to monetize. So I think for corporate it's fine. For unorganized sector, like WhatsApp business account, right? WhatsApp business account is to have good penetration in unorganized sector, and they are monetizing on that. But it is also solving the business problems, to have the orders, to talk to people, to get payment and everything.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So we have last couple of minutes. Any last questions or feedback?
Any other question before we leave? I just have a question, Nitin. as you have mentioned, now nowadays people, they are using AI in the medium scale business, in the large scale business. But I think implementing AI has a cost involved to it. And do you believe that these startups, which are at the very early stage, they have that much that they can put so much money for the technological upgradation or putting money on developing the infrastructure of or AI and all these things?
Yeah. So I think the first cost, which is the major part, is at this time is getting the talent who knows how to use AI technology. So it is very new. A lot of people are learning. If you see, a lot of courses are, and just if you think like 10 years back, there was a very good machine learning and AI. In 2013, 15 time, we talked a lot of machine learning and AI, but by 2016, 17, it died down a little bit because machine learning models were not that capable enough, or that computation power was not there that it can take that data and process. Now, over the years, the computing power with the cloud uses, it increased. That's why machine learning models were easily created, like comparatively easily created than earlier. So that AI now capability more is there. But when we talk about cost, hiring talent who knows about technology is a bigger cost. Getting infrastructure, information about the infrastructure, that is easily available, but competing with large companies, it's at least possible now. Although cost will be there, but with the rapid technology changes, with the customer experience being changes, so competing with even big businesses is much easier on a specific objective or a specific problem, is much easier in my opinion than earlier, because everybody has the same information now. Unless it is copyrighted to some company, everybody has the same information. They can generate same responses in the same time, comparatively same time, and they can take the decision at the same time. Or maybe small companies can take decision much faster, because big companies has the change management, which will still take time. But small companies can take those decisions much faster than earlier. So I think new entrepreneurs has a advantage with the help of AI than earlier.
And we always thought that it was the other way around.
And in my opinion, that's the way right now, because how you use is the ability to think, as Dr. Krishna I think mentioned, that is the ability to think and apply. Information is available for everyone now. It was not like, okay, earlier I had to look at the 100 resources, 100 websites, then I'll get the information. Now that's not the case. Whether it's a big business, a small business, somebody has resources or not, I am a computer, I can look at all the information, and it's same for everybody. How do I use that information? That's one capability, and that's why you are seeing a lot of new companies coming in. They are competing on small problems with the big businesses, and they are. I think if we search, we can find a lot of advantage, a lot of examples around that.
There are some questions in the chat box also, sir. One of the participants is asking, when every organization starts using AI in the coming years, then how will a company sustain its competitive advantage?
We'll go to our opening discussion we had of the tea vendor. When all 10 tea vendors has the same technology, same AI, how they will change. So it will come again to the value proposition, cost, how personal experience you can create, and how can use technology, how can you keep up with that technology to use those. And it's not about always upgrading. Unless it is providing that cost value benefit, one don't need to upgrade, or you can foresee something. So it's personal instinct, personal gut feeling, personal experiences, collaboration will always matter more in any of those scenarios, because AI is a tool which we are using. So it's same for everybody.
Yeah. Dr. Nitesh is asking how to get data set of school, state level, and national level. I think you'll have to do some kind of research. Yeah.
I think just try to put it on ChatGPT. So probably you'll get something. And I think that's how I use when I want to get the data. But verification of that data is crucial, because you have to verify whether this is correct data or complete data or not. Because AI may not be able at this time for that level. So you can say I have a data set of all schools, state and national level, and this is like my predictability is 90. I think ChatGPT can provide the prediction as well, how accurate this data is.
Analysis can be done, yes. Another one is, one of the big issues these days is the choice of technology with respect to available human resources in small businesses. AI may not be a challenge for them at the moment. So, had technology management is a bigger issue, you can share your views on this.
So available human resources in small businesses, I think hiring right talent has always been an issue. So it may not be a technology issue. It may be a how do you are adapting the technology. So like if you want to have a small business of like we talked about consulting, so LinkedIn or these kind of tools are more suitable. But if you want to have a like unorganized sector help, so there are other services you may think. So I think finding the tools and technology which are relevant to your objective is much bigger issue than the AI for such type of scenario. Is that good enough for you, Dr. Dinesh? Like that's my opinion on that, because AI is not a challenge, but finding what tools, where is the information lies. But AI can help finding like not AI, but AI model like ChatGPT. They can help what kind of things are there for my scenario available, and then one has to research on it.
So that's the new topic of research nowadays, Nitin. Data sovereignty or AI sovereignty, as they say it now.
Yes, yes.
Where they are, some of the challenges that we are facing is with the trust, privacy, biasness, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I forgot to mention one topic from Dr. Richa. It was about ethics. So I'll just take a few seconds on that. So we are calling it like, I personally call it the responsible use of AI. And it also comes like as a question, what kind of answer I have, whether it is accurate or not. So AI model will provide answer, but it cannot provide the resources, like how it is generated, because it takes thousands of parameters, billions of parameters. It doesn't also know, cannot provide that information, that where it is trained from and how it is generating that. So a lot of work is going on to do that data sovereignty, the ethics around it, a lot of filtration. Like if you see in a corporate, if you want to do malicious intent or you want to find some personal information from model will not show. ChatGPT will not show a personal information, because that is the ethical use of AI. And a lot of regulations are being in place to use the AI ethically, so that a malicious intent is not covered. Like if somebody wants to say, okay, my personal information, it is in public, but ideally ChatGPT should not show it. So that's my expectation, and regulators are working on that as well. Sorry.
Right. Unless and until we have those current ethical guidelines, I think this will continue to happen, but eventually
Yes.
privacy will lead over it. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And that's that's the successful, all the AI related tools, successful business will be based on data privacy. If they don't have, they will probably will not be operate or not successful.
Participants, in case there are any more questions, you can even raise hand or unmute yourself and ask directly, or you can put it in the chat box and we can speak on your behalf.
With Yoon's ill-fated martial law announcement, Yoon justified his move by citing North Korean threats, but many critics of South Koreans argued it was another effort.
Ms. Namta, I think your mic has by mistake put on.
And Jaksu holds the power to decide
Ms. Namta?
investigation into Kim.
Okay. Any more questions, participants? We have not yet opened the feedback form, so please hold on for a while. We'll be opening it soon. Any other questions, participants?
I think that was a wonderful session, right? And the use
Yeah,
of
it was really a great session. We enjoyed a lot.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed the examples, so many examples. Now I can take so many examples to my class.
Not only from just one sector, but he has touched upon different sectors as well.
Right.
Yeah, even I must say that both the sessions were very insightful, very interesting. And the best part is that even it was the evening time and our kids at home, but even we can't move away from both the sessions.
Thank you,
Yes,
everyone.
and thanks to the organizers for making it very interactive session, and it was very nice, sir. And the ma'am Ahluwalia before, she has also had a very good session. So it's like, thank you organizers for having this wonderful experience for
Thank
us.
you, Dr. Vijay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nitin. Thank you. I was requesting Anubhaji to come up after that, consultancy session, another session wherein, I should spare my time for learning and all. So I think it is great, listening to all of you and very well organized under the leadership of Anubha Madam. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Monica. You were in fact you kept the session very interactive throughout. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's all thanks to our speakers. Thank you, Nitin sir, for joining in.
Sapna ma'am has a question. She has raised the hand.
Okay.
Dr. Sapna?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I want to clap, but mistakenly the hand will raise.
Okay. All right. All right.
It
Sapna,
was
no
a
problem.
wonderful session. Thank you, Nitin sir.
Okay, the feedback form is open for all of you. You can please provide your feedback. And every day, please try to complete this feedback process by 9:45 till 10 p.m. So that's all for today. And it was a wonderful day. I think we have justified day one, 2 great sessions, first by Professor Anubha Vashish. The opening was best. I'm really thankful to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Denish Shah, and Mr. Manu Bhaskar Gaur, Sir. And Nitin, again, thank you so much. And I know on a very short notice, when I have asked you to take this session, and
it was wonderful. It was very insightful. And thank you so much for taking up that time and joining us.
Thank you.
Though at a short notice, but Nitima, thanks for having him here.
Yeah, thank you. And
Thank you
thanks
very
to all
much.
the participants. Thanks for your question. So let's
Madam Nitima Madam, the feedback link is in the mail box or where?
Sir,
We'll
it's
be sharing it on the mail and the group also, sir.
I am sharing this on the WhatsApp group as well, and it is over here also in the message window.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, all of you. Good night. Take care.
Nitin sir, we take their questions till the time you can take your leave. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Participants, please make sure that you fill in the feedback form. That is a mandatory requirement for for you to join in the next session, and your attendance will be taking it through the Google Meet link. Okay, so there's no manual attendance that you have to log in. The link will itself provide your attendance. All the session-wise recordings will be uploaded on YouTube. We'll share that link also with you in case you miss some portion. And if we get the permission to share the slides of the speakers with you, we will definitely share it. We will have a drive where we share it, right? Because you will need it for preparation of the online test that we have at the end of the FDP. Okay, thank you so much. You were a wonderful audience and have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Nitima,
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good night. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Tomorrow's timings are already shared in the schedule. It will start at the same time, and then we have those sessions. Yeah, you have the schedule on mail as well as on the WhatsApp group. Thank you, everyone. Okay, should I end the call?